Hello?
Uh-oh.
Pablo, are you washing your ass?
What, Pablo? Are you washing your... Yeah. What was
Pablo?
it from?
That was
Boy.
with Adam Sandler, right?
Wasn't that
Was
Turkey
it?
Boy?
It might, you know what? I think it was
Oh,
Jerky
it
Boys.
might have been Jerky Boys. Yeah, that's right.
What the hell?
I think it was Jerky Boys. Hey, Jerky.
It was either Jerky Boys, Adam Sandler, or that Man Cow CD he had.
Was not,
No, it wasn't White
not
Cow.
Adam Sandler.
Wasn't Man Cow. I
No?
think it was Jerky Boys.
Hey, Jerky.
Yeah, the Egyptian magician.
I forgot about that.
You punch your chest and it disappears into the crowd?
The Egyptian magician. Oh my God, yeah. I haven't thought of that in a long time.
Can you guys hear me? I have you on speakerphone.
Yeah, you're a little muffled, but you're okay. You're coming
Can you hear me
through.
right now?
Yeah, we got you.
You're good. You're good.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see.
Nice. Does everybody have a good week? How's your guys' week?
Long.
You didn't
Very
work today though, did you?
I went in for 5 hours because I was scrubbing that floor I sent the picture of the other day.
Oh yeah. What was that? Somebody like screwed up waxing it?
Yeah, because all they did was they dry scrubbed it and then put wax over that. They didn't strip it all the way down.
Gotcha.
So you could see where like dirty wax was and all that. So
I like my wax dirty.
Something like that.
What?
Yeah. So it was not done correctly.
Aha.
So which kind of sucks because that put more pressure on me, especially with we're getting down to the wire for school.
I gotcha.
Sorry, pulling up my my notes.
You guys go to school next week, right?
No. End of the month.
Okay.
End of the month, beginning of the month. Beginning of the month,
Gotcha.
something like that. I don't remember. I think after Labor Day, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, we go back next week. And then the daughter goes back to college the week after, I think. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I can't believe we're in August already.
Dude, yeah, and it's already the 11th. I mean, you're almost halfway through. It's nuts. Like, where the hell did this year go?
Yeah.
See, it seems like we just started.
Mm-hmm. It's insane. Yeah. So, let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't have a lot this week. I must have been working a lot.
You were busy.
Yeah. I got coffee is just goth water.
I've seen that somewhere. Maybe you posted that. Yeah, that's hilarious.
That made me laugh. I was like, oh, okay. That's
goth
probably why
water.
I like it dark. Yeah, it's goth water.
Goth water. Does it wear the emo pants and eyeshadow too?
Yeah, exactly. And Patty Melt brought up a question for me today. Do you call it a cookie sheet or a cooking sheet?
I call it a cookie sheet.
Yeah, same here.
Or a baking sheet, I guess could be. I've heard the term baking sheet.
I've always called it a cookie sheet. So.
Yeah, I guess that could be. Yeah.
I've always called it a cookie sheet too, so it's settled. It's a cookie sheet.
Cookie sheet done.
I think it's like the soda pop type thing.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's different. Those are fighting words.
No, ketchup on hot dogs is fighting words, but yeah.
Jesus. Ketchup. Don't diss the ketchup on the hot dog. I like it.
Not in Midwest, not in Chicago.
It's pronounced Jif.
Jif.
Jif?
The peanut butter or GIF as in the picture?
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
I always called it GIF for the picture because it stands for graphic interchange format. Good.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. GIF. Yeah.
Jif
I'm
was
in.
just J. I just J. John J. That's a Jif. Peanut butter.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
okay. So here's the little Mandela effect. Do you remember it as Jiffy or Jif? Because I remember there being a Jiffy peanut butter at some point. Wasn't there? Or am I crazy?
Or Jiffy Pop. Are you talking about the popcorn?
I could have sworn it was peanut butter at one point. Like there was a Jiffy peanut butter. Jiffy Pop was the one that came.
It had like a rainbow color.
I don't remember, but Jiffy Pop had the like foil thing that would pop over the stove, right? Like it would blow up into like a balloon.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait. Yeah. Jiff.
Yeah, Jiffy popcorn.
Yeah, but see, I
It's
thought
Jiffy
it was
peanut butter.
Jiffy peanut butter.
Was there ever a Jiffy peanut butter?
Not Jiffy, Jif. Yeah.
Jiffy peanut butter never existed.
Yeah.
See, I could have sworn there was a Jiffy peanut butter.
I could have maybe Skippy. Oh wait, they're showing one here. Yeah.
There was a Jif.
Okay.
Maybe you're getting your peanut butter at the dollar store.
Well, there was a Skippy. Maybe that's what I'm remembering. I'm combining the
I
two.
do remember that little guy. It was a little peanut butter jar with a knife. I remember that.
Oh, Jiffy.
Skippy? Maybe it was Skippy and Jiffy that I was like combining them. I don't know.
Don't you guys buy peanut butter? Those are still two major brands.
Yeah. Okay, so here's a question. Creamy or chunky?
Creamy.
Creamy? Yeah, I'm a creamy guy.
Depends. I like both.
That's bullshit.
I do like both, but I try not to eat Jif or
Jiffy.
Jiffy or Skippy or the crappy peanut butters.
You get
because
the
of
like the like good stuff, right?
the natural stuff. Yeah, because the oils that
Yeah.
are in, the peanut butter are just shit. They're terrible for you.
That's typically what they
So-
end up as anyway.
I remember I joke with my parents that was one complaint that I had as a kid is I
It was
never
oily?
got the Jif or the Skippy peanut butter. I always got
Okay.
the natural stuff where it was just like peanut butter and salt,
Gotcha.
And now that's what I prefer. So it kind of comes full circle,
Okay. That makes sense.
which is kind of weird. Yeah. But yeah, I swear I do somewhat remember Jiffy. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm that's what I'm thinking, unless it was something else, or maybe like I'm combining the Skippy and the Jif together. I don't know.
I think I need to get some of that nootropics like Alpha Brain from On It or some of them, Alex Jones brain products because
Oh God.
I'm losing my damn mind.
Yeah, what's the stuff I've seen oh God, the brain stuff that what's her name? Blossom pushes.
Some sort of nootropic, I'm sure.
Oh.
I'm Googling it. Oh,
I've actually
she pushes the Nariva.
Nariva.
Yeah, a brain supplement. I don't know. I mean, nine out of 10 of these people are probably paid to tell them they like it anyway, and they never even touch the stuff.
Out of 10. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there may be a few that actually use it, but
They just use their celebrity name
their
to
clout.
sell product. Yeah.
Where is it? I've actually been reading a lot about. I'm trying to get the correct name of it. It's NMN.
Nimma.
Isn't that sex cult that one chick ran?
NMN.
Okay.
No, not that I know of.
Hold on, I'm gonna find it. I know exactly what I'm talking about.
God, what's the name of this stuff? It's NMN. Nicotinamide. Oh, God.
Nicotine? Like what's in cigarettes?
No, it's called nicotinamide mononucleotide. It's supposed to be some sort of miracle anti-aging.
Oh yeah. Okay, I think I've seen that. They sell it as like something like an NAD or something.
Yeah, NAD plus.
Yeah, I think I've seen that, or people pushing it. But see,
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Dan brings up a good point. Like a lot of these celebrities that do this endorsement for money, like they may not actually stand behind that stuff. But was it Joe Rogan that had some guy make like a fake commercial for his stuff and trying to push it with like his voice, and like he took clips of his podcast to make it look like he was talking about this thing with somebody else, but it was all AI generated. I mean, except for the clips on the podcast. Yeah. And he's like, I don't know who made it, but we gotta like, they were trying to figure out, like, I don't know if the guy made it as a joke or if they were legitimately trying to like sell their product using Joe as like a figurehead. But like, I don't know, they were like gonna sue the guy or cease and desist or something. I don't even know if I ever found it, but I lost track of the story. But yeah, it's like
She was in that Invixum sex cult. She was in the Super Smallville.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I didn't watch Smallville.
Oh,
Well,
no shit.
yeah, that's the brain supplement, Invixum.
Claire Bronfman?
And Nixivum. Nixivum?
NXIVM.
Nixivum. Maybe that's some Roman numeral like 42.
They don't say. Allison Mack. Oh my god.
Nixivum.
Claire Bronfman.
Yeah, like even Eric, your boy Logan Paul is selling some kind of water.
Oh, that's his Prime.
Prime
Yeah.
stuff.
Prime, yeah, it's all over.
It's got like they said it's like it's like an equivalent to like 4 cups of coffee in a single
the energy drink, but so is every other energy drink that's out there.
You know, like Monster or whatever too.
Right, you just throw your name at it.
The hard thing is though that I struggle with, like so when the grandson was doing baseball, the coach gave it to him. I mean, like he's 9. Like what fucking 9-year-old needs that much caffeine already?
Yeah, but they have Prime the energy drink, and then they have Prime the hydration.
Yeah, I think he got him the energy drink because he was bouncing off the walls after that game.
Was it in like a Red Bull canister?
I don't remember what it was in, but it was like they were all wired after that game like crazy.
Because they have their Prime hydration drink, which if I recall doesn't have any caffeine in it.
Yeah,
that comes in like the
it's like a Gatorade type thing.
The plastic bottle. Yeah. And I kind of like the flavors of it. And it's got 200 milligrams of caffeine, 300 milligrams of caffeine. That's nothing.
Yeah, I mean,
that's nothing.
What, the Black Rifle coffee is like 50 milligrams a cup, right, or something like that.
So, Death Wish is like 200% caffeine. Yeah. You get a Monster, a Bang, a Reign, the powder, energy drink powder from like a vitamin shop.
Yeah.
You got 200 plus grams of caffeine.
So
milligrams of caffeine in
here.
There.
So they're saying that.
Now, don't get me wrong. A kid shouldn't be taking that. I'm not saying. No.
But I mean, like, quick Google says standard USDA 8-ounce serving of coffee can contain up to 95 milligrams of caffeine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I drink like 3 fucking cups of coffee in the morning alone, so it's like
I used to drink a pot of coffee a day plus.
I don't,
depending.
I mean, am I over caffeinated? Probably.
Oh, I guarantee you my adrenals are freaking fried.
Yeah.
Remember when we used to be able to drink water out of the hose?
Yeah, you can't do that anymore.
You wouldn't even see water. You wouldn't even see water on the shelves in the store because you could just drink it anywhere. It was harmless.
And you're still drinking the same water out of the hose with those bottles.
Some of them you are, yeah. Some of them are actually doing something to it, but
like the Dasani and some of the other stuff. I think probably like Voss or
I think like
Voss water.
Voss, oh my god, or like what's the one my daughter drinks? It the one with the pH shit now. Like I always thought that stuff. Like I've heard that like if you drink too much of it, it can be bad because it screws with the balance in your system. Like if you constantly drink, well, yeah, but I mean, like when you
Everything we're
specifically
drinking is screwing because it's all capitalized.
Yeah, but if you get like a specific like pH balanced water that's got more pH in it that you're drinking, like that's like if you don't need that, like there's no reason you should be drinking it.
Yeah, but you just drink regular water. You
Right.
don't need anything
Right.
like this black water that tastes like dirt.
What?
All that is water with dirt.
So it's
Have
basically
you seen
like
that?
it's dirt coffee.
Yeah,
Water.
you know, I mean, it's not like we're getting what's that? What's the Hawaiian? Not the Hawaiian water. The it comes in the square bottle. Is that Hawaiian?
Fiji.
Fiji. I love Fiji water. I mean, Evian used to be, the high class, the shit water.
Whatever. I mean,
Isn't water just H2O?
yeah.
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 There's minerals and stuff in it, but
I mean, like, I'm not going to go
That's why
drink
you don't
water
drink distilled
out of the
water.
pool at the Park District because that's got all kinds of chemicals in it.
Well, it's got chlorine in it.
Yeah, but like, I mean, shit. Like, would you, knowing what you know about all the crap that went on in fucking
Ohio?
Michigan, in Michigan,
no, Flint, Michigan.
Flint,
yeah.
Michigan, like, would you, like, those people live with that for decades, and like
Mm-hmm.
now we're only hearing about it, like when they turn on the tap and like sludge comes out and that's what they were drinking. Like, how do you live your life like that?
I don't know. I don't drink our tap water. Only reason I don't drink our tap water is because it's hard.
Are you on a well?
Ridiculously hard one. No.
Oh, okay.
If we were, that'd be different.
See, like well water, I can't stand. It tastes like real sulfury to me.
Yeah,
But that's because it's not like
Yeah.
filtered. I mean, and that's why people get like Dan, you get a water softener, you get a water filter system. Like, we get the city water, and I don't like, we have a water plant that treats it. I don't know what the hell they do to it. They're putting 5G microchips in it for all I know. But
that could be
a mesh network.
Yes, it's a mesh network of people. It's people. The network is people.
But I mean, I just think when we were kids that the water that was going into the house was cleaner.
Yeah.
And there's so many more chemicals that we've been adding to shit that people are, paying other people to put it into their shit, and they're, turning it into money.
I kind of wonder,
that's how you end up with the opioid crisis, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, they over prescribe
exactly
the
how that
painkillers.
happens.
Yeah.
Well, that's
So now
because your
our
doctors are over prescribing drugs. That's a whole nother story.
Well, but like,
someone's pushing a chemical.
Well, but also I think, Dan, like, if you look at the source, so like if your water's coming from, Lake Michigan and it's filtered and whatever, like what is getting put into Michigan that wasn't there 20, 30 years ago now from all this industry that forcing them to filter all this shit and chemicalize it or whatever.
Yeah.
Because somewhere up the stream, somewhere upstream, some freaking chemical plant's pouring plastic into the water and it floats over to us. I mean,
that happens every year, right? Isn't it in Wisconsin or like Waukegan or something?
Yeah.
That's why you don't drink distilled water, because there's no minerals in it. It's pure.
Well, but I've heard people say the same thing. Like if you put like a reverse osmosis filter, or you even get like those Brita pitchers, because they remove all the good shit, and you're just basically drinking like distilled water. I don't know.
You know, reverse osmosis is bullshit, right?
Well, it just filters it through sand. Is all it really is, right? Or like charcoal.
There's no reverse osmosis. I'm gonna go learn,
chemistry.
Well, I think
rocket science. Putting a book under my bed through osmosis.
No. I think they're calling it, because the way that it pumps it through the filter, it basically, it's pressurized. The way I understand it works is in your filter canister, it's pressurized around the outside, and then it filters in through the canister. So you're left with like whatever the hell,
a couple blow
trickle,
up.
with like a trickle of water. So
I had a couple at the resort blow up on the ice machines.
But I mean, the worst part is people say like the pitchers, the things with the straws that filter now you can buy, the freaking bottles, like all that shit removes all the stuff that you kind of want in your water, like the minerals or whatever. And like, yeah, you're basically left drinking like just bland distilled water, essentially. I don't know. I
Exactly, and
mean,
you're not getting the minerals. And
right.
wrong word. I used the wrong word. I didn't mean osmosis. I don't remember what word it was. I used to talk about that all the time, but
Yeah,
what the hell word was it? I'm getting older, so you got to pardon
that's
me.
right. Hey, you need that.
No,
You
I
need that
think I think
Nariva
that's the right word. I think that's the right word.
osmosis. I think, yeah, because that's where you like just
Yeah.
learn by like absorbing.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
jokingly, you'd put a book next to your head, but it's
Yeah,
through
it's
osmosis.
more
yeah,
complicated than
Is it
that.
right?
yeah,
Okay, maybe I am.
yeah.
Maybe I am thinking the correct
Well,
way.
and
Yeah,
Okay,
learn through
thank you for.
that's the whole point of the reverse osmosis is they're absorbing the water through the medium, filtering it out rather than forcing it like in a pitcher where you pour it in and just gravity feeds through the medium. I don't know what the hell the
Well,
difference is. I'm not a fucking water
Yeah,
scientist. I don't know.
it's just like a filtration system in a pool.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's
You
all
have
magic
different,
for as far as I know how it works. I don't.
pretty much. Well, some pools. Now we're not going to talk about Stevenson's system because their system was a whole lot different. But they used sand. They used a big pit
Yeah,
with sand, and
sand
the
filtering.
water would come through. The sand would filter all the shit out of it, and it would go back in nice and clean. A lot of places have these like tan balls that are filled with different media, whether it's sand, charcoal, whatever, whatever, and the water will go through that. The Abbey had 5 of them for our outdoor pools. Just the amount of vessels and the footage of
Yeah,
the pool, um, and that's how you would when you would backwash. That's how you'd go backwards through the system to clean it, and then it would go forward so your pool was cleaner.
yeah. Did
So
you have to
same
like
thing.
the sand ones though? You've got to replace the sand every once in a while, right?
Yeah. We
I
actually
mean,
had one blow
just
up.
like a filter, you got to replace the filters too. I mean, there's
Yeah,
no
we had
like,
it's a big ball. So I'd say,
yeah,
let's see if you can see me. I mean, it's probably like yay big. Probably this tall.
yeah.
It might have.
I can't see you.
I'll say it might. They
You
might
got to
hold.
reinstall your shit.
Yeah. It might hold 50 gallons or
Yeah.
100 gallons of ball. I don't remember exactly, but we had one. The system was pumping, it was doing its thing, and one of the tops blew off
Oh
because of all
God.
the pressure. So, the pool's up here, over that way, probably 100 yards, but it's ground level, and this is below level, and it blew off. So the water of the pool started to drop. So all the water started coming up. That we had probably a good 1.5 feet of water in most of the basement at the resort.
Gotcha.
That was fun. But yeah, that's all it is for pools and stuff. But yeah, the water. Yeah, just drink water.
Yeah. I mean, what the hell, water's water for all I care. Put all
Well,
that
not
shit in.
from the hose anymore.
Yeah, I guess. All right, all right. I
If
mean,
my
I've
water
done.
wasn't hard, I would take it from the hose.
I do like I'll drink it out of the faucet. The wife and kids are like, oh, we need to filter the pitcher, and I'm like, whatever. Like, I don't.
Do you know those Brita filters? You can filter out the taste of alcohol. Have you seen that online?
Yeah, there was also one where the guys filtered was like cola, and they took out the caramel, the coloring, and we're left with like a white, like a clear fluid that tasted like the cola.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was like
I'm gonna
Coke
have to
or
look that
something
up.
else. Yeah, they like somebody else filtered out they took a bunch of like flavored like the what is it, the Mike's the Jones colas where they have like the different flavors, and he wanted to see if it like filtered out the different flavors, and some of them did, some of them didn't.
I've been meaning to try that with like bourbons and whiskeys and stuff to see
Yeah.
if it actually does it. Actually, you know what? I'll go online. I got a card on Amazon.
Oh God, you're gonna add some bourbon and whiskey to it?
No, it's Brita filter. No, I've got a belt for my car, and then some other stuff.
Nice.
So
Yeah,
one
I
of these
got
days I'll actually replace the belt.
I'm thinking I'm probably gonna have to on the new car, the Honda. I'm probably gonna have to do some plugs and coil packs just because
Really?
it's yeah. I looked at them and the coil packs, like he said he used a new harness or maybe it was
Mhm.
like a refurb that came with the engine.
Yeah.
But the coil packs, like the one, like you know how they got like a weird like an epoxy covering over the top, like it
Hmm.
was all like cracked and like broken, and I'm like, like that, shit could get in there. I don't know. I mean, they're like $40 a piece, and it's only six, so whatever.
Is he not warranting anything on there?
I mean, he said he would, but like, I mean, he's like, oh, it was a junkyard engine, and we just put it in, and he's like, I'll guarantee it. I think he said they gave him a 1 year, 12,000 mile warranty on the engine. And it's like, I don't know where the hell he got it from, but he said it only had like 50,000 miles. But I mean, the car, you saw it. The car is in pretty decent condition. It's just, some superficial crap. There's some scratches, and I got some rubbing compound. I got to buff it out. I got to buy some stuff to polish the headlights and, clear coat them just to make sure because they're a little
I'm just gonna replace mine
foggy.
with LED.
Dude, I looked online and like the headlight, the assembly, the lens assembly, was like $160 for one. I was like,
Mm-mm.
I'll try my hand at buffing them out with the polishing thing.
Yeah, I saw somebody make a baking soda and was it vinegar
Toothpaste.
or water?
I've seen somebody do
Maybe
toothpaste.
maybe toothpaste. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was something that made it nice and clear. I'm just gonna take mine out. I'm gonna put LED, the little
Yeah.
7-inch LED, and move
Yeah,
along.
that's right. Because you got the circle one. You get the cat's eyes.
Sort of.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got those. So
Yeah, I'm waiting on the damn
these
paint. I
halogens.
ordered the paint and I ordered that whole protection ceramic coat thing. So, if it ever shows up, maybe I'll use it and do a review because everything I see online says that they all the like car tuber guys that I watch, they push Avalon King and they use it on their own, and I'm sure it's because they're sponsored, but like everybody says it's supposed to be pretty good. And I'm like, for the price, it fucking better be.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull this up. One of the guys, he's big in the Can-Am Spider world. When was this? He
Okay.
had his work truck ceramic coated,
Yeah.
and it is. There we go. Let's see if that's a good picture. It is like a mirror.
Yeah, that's what they say. I mean, I'm not doing like the whole like there's guys that are like, oh, you gotta buff it. You take it down to the raw with like a clay bar. See, like he's got no swirl marks, he's got no orange peel, so he probably did paint correction, he probably did all that crap. Like, I'm not doing that. It's like the car is not like a showroom thing that I'm worried about. I just want to protect it because we get shitty winters up here in the north.
Is
See
this
if I
a relatively new thing? Like, is this something
Yeah,
they're gonna
ceramic
offer at
coatings like
car places?
it's like
ceramic.
it's some like nanotechnology shit, like they put buzzwords in there, but it's literally like a hard clear coat that goes over the car that's meant to kind of it's like the
So
new
like,
version of like waxing now. You don't have to wax, you just do this shit.
It's nanotech, so it's like
Yeah.
Tony Stark.
Yeah, that's right.
so like if I go pick up a, it's like Tony Stark. If I go pick up a car in December, is it gonna be an optional thing they're gonna try to
If you
sell me
get a
on?
new car, maybe. I don't know. Like I don't know if dealers would offer that. I wouldn't, because honestly, like the kit I bought was I mean, I bought the two bottles and it's a 2-pack for $99. And they say that'll do one coat on an SUV. They don't give you a size. And all of like the bumpers, the plastics on like the mirrors, stuff like that. Otherwise, they recommend you just do like the body panels, like where the paint is, because that's what could be affected the most. But
Right.
I mean, it's like they give you the sponge and they give you this like it looks like a microfiber cloth that you wrap around the sponge, and you literally put like a dab on there. And they just said you just go with the like just up and down. You don't even like swirl it or anything. You just go up and down, and then you wait like a couple seconds and you just buff it off, and it's supposed to be like so. I'm like I figured when I do it, because the hood's got a ton of like chips in the front, and I'm waiting for the freaking like touch-up paint to get here. I ordered it. I figured I'd do like maybe like a half and side-by-side comparison and see like how it actually looks. Because they tell you to do like one panel at a time. I mean, it doesn't take that long. Like all the guys online, when I watch them do it, it's like they do like a whole car in less than like 45 minutes. Because it's just like you don't have to buff it, you don't have to wax it, you don't do anything where you like, you remember it used to be like you'd wax it on like Mr. Miyagi, and you'd have to wait for it to fog and then buff it off like really freaking hard. And like there's none of that anymore, I guess. It's just they have I've seen ones McGuire's, the name. I mean, they sell car shit. They sell it in a friggin' spray bottle. You just spray it on and wipe it off, and it's like
all their stuff is probably just like their quick detailer.
Yeah, and it's like they tell you can use it on windows, and like it keeps water and snow and all that shit off because it gives it like
try to do that.
It's like a coating that I guess nothing can adhere to. I don't know.
Well, let's see. I want to do my undercoating, and then.
How are you going to do that? You could do like a spray on?
Yeah, I was thinking about getting some like Pour 15 or like what Eastman's or Westman's or whatever it's called, and it's just kind of like a paint on. It's an encapsulator, so all you do is you just kind of like lightly sand and scuff where the rust is, and then you paint over it, and it supposedly kills it.
Well, Pour 15, you can get it in rattle can, can't you? Like a top coat?
Yeah, I think so.
What they call it?
I think so. Yeah.
Because that's typically what a lot of people use. I've seen they use that, or hell, I've seen guys spray like what's the rubberized shit? Like the
bed coating.
Yeah, like a bed coating, but not like the texture, like more like a rubber, like a smooth rubber. And like literally, I've seen guys that just do the whole underside of the car. Wait for it to. I mean, like minus the exhaust and shit that heats up.
I've actually seen some people do that.
See that's just like you're asking for trouble, I think. But like the guy I watched that did it, like he did his whole car underneath, waited for everything to cure, and then drove it. So like where the like joints where like the sway arms and all that shit was, like it literally just kind of rubbed off, and like the whole thing was coated, with the exception of like the moving parts that rub together.
Yeah,
and like the exhaust and the engine itself, obviously, but
so
I was I'm like, I don't know, shit, like who cares? Why not, right? I mean, you might as well try it.
Yeah, one of these days. I want to do it before winter, so maybe on Friday I'll do it.
Crap. Hold on one sec. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Let's see what this ceramic coat stuff is. I'm checking this out on Amazon right quick. Some of it's pretty cheap. Some of it's kind of expensive. Couple kits for $30, $15. Here's one for 140. High gloss 50 milliliters, anti-scratch. I don't know about you, but that would be nice.
Right. Well, and just
weathering
UV. Yeah, weather. Midwest is crazy.
Acid rain, weathering, UV light, industrial fallout, bird droppings. I'm going to put that in my cart.
What's that?
I'm on Amazon.
Looking for that.
Here's why you shouldn't get a ceramic coating YouTube video.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I mean, it's like if you're gonna wax the car, like there's like Eric said, there's spray detailers where you spray it and you wipe it off, and it's supposed to do it. I don't know. I mean, the other one I've seen that's pretty good is the you've seen the hydrophobic coatings. Like they make it, they initially created it, 3M created it for fabric like lawn chairs and like cushions, where you sprayed, it was like a 2-part thing. You'd spray it on.
Yeah, and on your clothes and stuff,
yeah,
your shirt would stay.
Yeah.
I had some of that stuff.
Never Wet was the one I used.
Yes.
And I don't know if you remember, when we played paintball, I would spray that on my jersey because the paint wouldn't stick when it broke.
You're a cheater.
Hacker. And like initially they created it for like outside like cushions and shit like that outside, umbrellas. Now they
Yeah,
like
never wet.
yeah, now they have like a crystal clear one that you can put on your windows. Like what the fuck? Like it's
Must be
crazy. It's
nice.
crazy.
But yeah, do you guys see that video or the picture I sent on the WhatsApp? Then I sent you the full video.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at it now.
Oh, okay.
Looks like a damn mirror.
See, and that's the thing. Like, I always thought, like, to me, like the wife is like, "Oh, why do you do all this stuff?" And I'm like, I don't know. I love that. Like, I bought this set of detail brushes, and like, whenever I get a free chance, I'm gonna basically clean her whole engine bay. Like, you scrub everything and get all the shit off, and hose it off and all that crap, make it look nice. I did the whole inside of the car. I did all like the nooks and crannies, all the door trim. I put the silicone on the rubber on the door and on the frame of the car so it doesn't, dry out the trim. And I'm like, I don't know, man, like maybe I miss my calling as a car detailer. I don't know. I love that shit.
I got to do that to my
spend hours
to my
doing
like
that.
T-tops.
It's like, to me, that's like relaxing, like just doing it.
Although I noticed today when I was yesterday and today in the morning, I've noticed some dripping coming from probably about 6 inches back off of my A-pillar on both my driver and passenger side doors. And it kind of runs down. Like it's
So you got T-tops, right?
sort of.
Did you notice it after the rain?
No, and it's rain. It didn't get into the car per se. It did when I opened the door because then it was coming down, but it was following the channels the way it's supposed to when the doors were closed.
Okay,
So that's good. But
I know,
it's just when I
like,
opened them, it was dripping and hitting the
oh, okay,
the panels, and I'm like, this sucks.
Because I know, like with the Ford, and most cars, I think that have like, what the hell they call those, sunroofs.
Sunroofs. Mm-hmm.
There's a channel that usually goes from like the corner down the A-pillar that drains. So if water gets in there, it'll drain, and those things can get blocked like all the
clogged
time.
all the time. Yeah.
And
exactly.
like, I don't know if Jeeps have that, but like, I don't even if you get T-tops if they have that. I don't know how that works.
No, it's just all it is. You take like the Freedom panel, the Freedom top off, and it's just rubber seals.
America, my freedom.
America. No, like I said, when I opened the doors, it was dripping kind of into the not the footwell, but the panels right there where the door frame meets. It was so technically, yes, it was dripping into the car when the doors were open. When they were closed, like I said, they would go down the channels the way that they're supposed to, and it was good. So I was just like, well, that's kind of a shitty design. But people that drive Wranglers, no offense, I'm one of them. We're not exactly the brightest bunch.
It's a Jeep thing.
I've been seeing. I'm part of on Facebook. I think I'm part of like 5 or 6 Wrangler groups. Couple just basic Jeep and a couple specific Wrangler groups, and every year that I'm seeing from like my area, the JK, I think that's 2008 to 2018, I think it is. Is that it? Somewhere in that area. 2012, they came out with the Pentastar for the Wrangler, and it's still continued in there. I think they now have a 2-liter turbo, but that's a whole nother story.
EcoBoost.
They're all, yeah. Hey, I wouldn't mind an EcoBoost. They're all having the same problems. There's some one-offs where it's kind of like, wait, how did that happen? But majority of all of them, water pumps, radiators, stuff like that are all kind of going to crap. And it's kind of like, Jeep, come on, man, get your shit together, because the Wrangler people are. I've only been a Wrangler person for a couple of months, so I'm still one of them, but it's not like I've been doing this for many years. All these Wranglers, man, they got some issues.
Yeah.
Jeep needs to step up and fix this shit, because the amount of people that go, man, I want a Wrangler because you can take the top off, all-wheel drive. It's fun. I really haven't taken the girls out in it with the top off. I don't know, maybe a month, because I had shocks when I first got it. I had my fuel tank skid plate, and now I got to replace a belt and hope it's not one of the pulleys.
Well, if the squeal is a pulley, I mean that should be relatively easy, unless it's like a one of the. Well, I mean it's either going to be like an AC or a tensioner pulley.
There's a
AC.
couple. Yeah, there's the tensioner, and then there's a couple extra. So hopefully it's one. If it's a pulley, hopefully it's one of those. I don't know.
Okay.
I hear you hear it. You hear the belt sticking between, I don't know, about 1,000 RPMs to 2,500.
Okay. So when you get up to speed,
Sort of. And then
that's
when you
weird.
get past it, you never hear it. When you're under 1,000, you never hear it. And it's intermittent between 1,000 and 2,500, so it's not all the time.
I hope it's not like an oil pump or a water pump. That would suck.
They did. Yeah, the water pump or the oil pump is a bitch. They did the. What did they do? They did some. I'm trying to get Wickstrom. The lady that bought this Wrangler before me bought it at Ziegler.
Okay.
She only went back there a handful of times. Any heavy lifting that had to be done on that car, she took it to Wickstrom. Shows you how much faith she had in Ziegler, the place she bought it from. Which, no offense, you look at all the Ziegler car dealerships, and they all have fairly good ratings. You know, you're going to have some where people are pissed no matter what. Ziegler Schaumburg, man, you got to get your shit together over there, because they got a ton of bad reviews.
Yeah, you said it was shit dealing with them, right?
It was terrible. I love the car so much. It's got some issues. It's a used car. It's got some issues. I need to, we're taking care of it. But had I known that the dealer was going to be as bad as they were, I wouldn't have bought the car from them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'd still be driving my Grand Cherokee. And don't get me wrong, like I said, I love my Wrangler. That thing is top off. It's great. You had T-tops, you know.
Yeah, dude. I'm sad I got rid of that car.
Mm-hmm.
I saw one today at the show. The guy had a Oldsmobile. It was 88.
Delta 88?
Supreme Cutlass with the 350. Yeah, it was nice. It was like white. I mean, you could tell it was loved, and it was like a daily because it wasn't like a garage queen. But damn, it was nice. All chromed out on the air intake on the top of the carburetor. Oh man, it was like
cleaning those damn chrome rims on my 84 Cutlass Supreme was a pain in the ass. Pain in the ass every time I wanted to wash the car.
That Ranchero, that thing was freaking cherry, man. Like holy, like that guy, like probably wiped that thing down with a baby diaper every day.
I wish I would have had some disposable income in like my PayPal or something that I could send it to you, because I would have told you to pick me up some of the
tools,
the torque wrenches.
Yeah, he's got a bunch there. I mean, he's there till Sunday if you feel like coming out.
Because I need to.
I had to pick up a set of Allen keys. I needed like it was like 3/8 to fix the kickstand on the grandson's bike. None of my friggin' Allen keys worked. I was like, crap.
What? You know how many Allen keys I got? I'm looking at these torque wrenches. I wish it showed the price on there.
I think the one I saw, like he had a small one, was like I think $18 for I think the 1/4 inch. There was one was like 29. The big one was like 88. It was like crazy expensive, but
I don't know. Looking at these tools, man, I'm looking at some of this, and some of these could have came in real hand. Like this torque wrench when I do my my belt, because supposedly you don't have to take my alternator off. I can take a bracket underneath the alternator off and weasel the belt up that way and run it. So
gotcha. Go around it. Nice.
A fight to over the right to repair cars, like in Canada. if you want to repair cars, work on your car, you have to be a certified mechanic, or at least you used to be.
What? Well, where
You
is it?
couldn't.
Well, I've been hearing about how car manufacturers are trying to move away from making the information available for people to repair cars.
Tesla.
Yeah.
Speaking of Tesla and repairing cars, my neighbor over here, he's doing some crazy stuff. He's got a 350Z he's working on. He's got an MR2 turbo that he's working on. His garage right now has a Tesla. He's working on a Tesla. I mean, I'm so out of working on cars that
what's he gonna
I'm
do to it?
debating about.
He
has all the batteries
swap.
out. The battery pack. He's got the battery pack out from the car.
Yeah.
Next to it. Have you ever seen that online?
Yeah,
it's like the length of the car.
Yep.
And
it's the whole underside carriage of the basically where the travel compartment is from like the front.
It's like 2000 C batteries. It's wild.
It's those what is it, the 38720 or whatever, those batteries. The basically it's the longer version of this.
Yes.
There's like 70,000 of them. It's some fucking nutty thing. So Rich Rebuilds, he started doing. He was one of the first. I think it was like East Coast, somewhere Atlanta, maybe. He was one of the first shops, independent shops, that said, "Hey, we'll work on your your EVs, your Teslas, your whatever." They still need, despite what people seem to think, like they still need fluids. You still actually have oil in a Tesla because there's other shit that requires it. So it's like there's still stuff that needs to be done by like a mechanic or regular maintenance. And like he's like, we could do it cheaper than Tesla can. Now, he was targeting the people that were out of warranty because like Tesla basically covers everything if it's under warranty. But he had a guy, I guess, originally that came to him. He wanted his battery after like 5 years. One of those cells, so one of those little tiny batteries, was bad. Tesla said, you got to replace the whole thing. Now, if you've seen it apart, it comes in like sections, right? So you pull out like 4 or 5 different sections, whatever it is.
There's like 10 sections or 12 sections or something.
And you can actually, like, they're sealed because they're cooled. There's like coolant running through them to keep the batteries cool. But you could break those open and basically unsolder a cell and replace it, which is what this guy, Rich Rebuilds, was doing. So Tesla's like, oh, it's going to cost you 40 grand for a new battery. He's like, I could do that same repair for like, $5 grand. And all we got to do is drop the bad cell and we can find out, which one it is and fix it. And you're done. You're in and out. Tesla went to him because he was buying shit from Tesla to basically do these repairs. They said, no, we're not going to sell it to you anymore, which is similar to like what Dan's saying. They don't, because they want to corner the market on that because for some reason they feel like some guy doing it in his garage isn't going to do it right. Well, like, if I've got a car
don't do it fucking right to begin with.
That's the other
Sometimes
problem.
your techs don't do it.
And if I got a car that's under warranty, like you've been damn well sure I'm not going to try fixing that shit myself because like that's how you void a warranty. Now,
right.
Like
not necessarily. Well, the Magnuson-Moss Act, they have to prove that whatever you did caused the issue.
Well, and that's what I don't get. Like, so was it Chevy or maybe it was Ford that did this? They started saying that you have to use a certain oil. I want to say it's Ford. They use that like 0W20 oil.
Yeah, they use messed up oil,
Because they say that, like, I guess, I don't know why they do this. I think Honda and actually Toyota do this. The belt, like there's a belt, like an actual like rubber belt that's inside the timing cover that goes into the oil pan to spin the oil pump. Now it's a belt. It's not a chain, which is typically what you do, because a belt can get, the oils and shit will break it down. So their argument is you have to use this specific oil so that doesn't happen. And if you do your oil change at home and you don't buy our oil or you don't, you use some off the shelf shit or you switch it, we're not going to warranty it. And it's like, well, how do they prove that unless they take the oil out, test it or something? I don't know.
Exactly.
But people argued that because, yeah, then all of a sudden they had a problem where these fucking belts were breaking. And then, your timing system gets thrown off. And if it's an interference engine, bam, you get a new engine from Honda or whoever because the belt broke. Like, poor design.
If it's the oil not meeting,
Yeah.
the standards, the ANSI standards or what, I forget what they're called.
Right.
No offense. And that's the reason. No offense. You go to Mobile One, you go to Royal Purple, AMS Oil or AMSoil or however you pronounce
Yeah.
it. Which that's my favorite oil. I love AMSoil, but
most of those are like certified by the body, the governing body that says
they're supposed to be, yes.
Yeah.
And if they're not, they're paying for a new motor.
Well, but that's the other thing. Like, I mean, you and I know that as like a garage mechanic. I do my own oil changes because I don't fucking trust the wrench jockeys over at the Quick Lube, and I sure as hell ain't gonna go to a dealer and pay them 3 times the amount to turn a fucking wrench and pull a oil cover off. It's like, come on.
I'm a has-been. I'm not.
See,
I'm a has-been.
But I mean, it's like either way. Like, I have enough sense. You have enough sense to say if we're gonna do this, I'm gonna get the right oil, or I'm gonna go fully synthetic Mobile One, which is like a great fucking oil, and it may cost me $80 for those 5 quarts. That's still like, maybe $100 cheaper than what the dealer's going to charge me to change the oil.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then they're not going to try and sell me the fucking, wiper blades on top of that. So,
which reminds me,
I need wiper blades.
I need to do new wiper blades.
I like the simple shit like that: wiper blades, oil change, your fucking cabin air filter. It amazes me. Cabin air filter. It's a fucking air filter. It's in your glove box. You pull the glove box doors down. There's your fucking filter. And like places charge you hundreds of dollars to replace that.
Yeah.
It's like a $4 filter you can buy at freaking O'Reilly's.
And in most cars, you can have it done in probably less than 2 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, pro tip, if you go to your glove box and you open the door, in the upper right, there's usually like 2 little tabs. You push those in, the door will drop all the way forward. Now, sometimes there might be like a little cable to prevent it from doing that. You got to unlatch it. But as soon as that drops down, you'll probably see like your vent blower. And then right next to it, there's usually a box that's got the cabin filter. And all you do is you pop the clip off and the thing slides out. And it looks like just a cartridge filter. And it only goes in one way, like the arrow points a certain direction. And just go buy the same one and do it. You're done. I mean, it's like, why would you pay $200 to do that? Because people don't know. Like they just don't do their homework.
Well, that's
a lot of cars
the
don't
American
even have
way.
a cabin filter.
I think it's like
taking Ozempic.
That's right. That's right. When you're not diabetic, you take it for weight loss. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I hear that they're actually trying to do FDA approval for that shit now. Like, whatever. People get off your lazy ass and go to the gym. I don't know. Walk around the block.
Put the Twinkie down.
Yeah.
I think, Dan, you're right. It's like they're lazy, but it's also like they like there's people, and like I've met some of them.
People, our viewers. They're not talking about our viewers. Our viewers aren't lazy. It's everybody else.
No. I'm not naming names. I've met people like this.
He's calling you.
I've met people like this. They go, oh, it's not worth my time. And it's like, okay, well, if you make enough money to pay somebody $200 to switch your damn air filter, then like maybe you deserve to get ripped off, because like to me that's like the basic fundamentals of like owning a vehicle, is knowing like how to do basic shit. Like there's people that like don't know how to put windshield wiper fluid in.
Well, okay. Well, look at it like this: when the 50s and 60s, stuff like that, older cars. It used to tell you how to adjust your valve train.
Yeah. Or switch your timing. You just rotate your little fucking cap.
Yeah. Now it tells you to not drink battery acid. So
yeah,
we need to. Okay, we're gonna,
Don't spill the hot coffee in your lap. That's right.
Oh God, yeah.
These are the same people that are driving these cars at the road with us.
Hot coffee. That reminds me. I could go for coffee.
This is kind of the same path Apple went, right? Like all their shit is super expensive.
Yeah, because they
can't
know
work
people
on
are
their
gonna.
shit.
Yeah.
You can't
Well, yeah,
take
that-
a
that's-
Mac and,
so that's the whole right to repair thing. So there's
Yeah.
Louis Rossman. He was originally in New York. He moved. I don't know where the hell he's at now. But he's a big proponent. He goes in front of Congress and he pushes the right to repair, and he's fighting against all these lawmakers and politicians that are basically siding with Apple, saying no, there's nothing they're doing that's wrong. He's fighting them. He fought against John Deere, which I think they ended up overturning a case against that, saying like, you have to allow these guys to work on your freaking tractors because they were doing the same shit. They were basically bricking tractors because they had, somehow they would know if you put like the wrong part in, whether it was like an RFID or chipped or something. And then the tractor would just basically say, well, I'm not going to run. It's not a legit part. So guys were stuck with like fucking, $1 million tractors that don't work because they got to call John Deere and pay them tens of thousands of dollars to come turn a wrench and replace a part. Like, it's like this shit with who's the one car dealer now that wants to put performance mode behind a fucking paywall every month.
BMW.
Yeah. Like, what the hell? Like, dude, you're gonna charge me to push the gas pedal? Fuck that.
Well,
Yeah,
there's another
that's
reason why I went to a 2012
Yeah.
versus one of these newer vehicles. So, as no offense, as long as my motor doesn't nuke itself, and even when it does, hopefully it doesn't.
That's the
Let me
one
rephrase
fear
that.
I
I'm
have
not
with
gonna
this.
act like a tough guy. I'm beating around the bush about changing a fucking belt. So
I'll be honest with you. That's the one fear I have about this new car. I mean, it's a 2016, so it's 7 years old. It's not really new, but like everything's fucking electronic. LCD, LED display, touch screen. I think the AC controls are still like physical knobs and switches, but like there's no key. It's push button. There's no locks on the door. So like if the batteries die, how the fuck do I get in my car? Like,
you should have a key on it. There should be a manual key.
There's no button that I push to get at the key. There's no key locks on any of the doors. There's nothing.
there's no keyhole.
There's no keyhole.
Look,
I mean,
look at the just to the right of the handle. There should be something there.
I mean, I'll double check, but none of the fobs we have, like they don't have
like
that
in
button.
the fob.
It doesn't like
No, in
pop
the
out
fob,
the key.
It won't. It'll be in the key itself.
Oh, like slides into the fob.
Yeah, it should slide in.
My keys. Yeah, my key is the same way. Like there's a key in it. It pops out.
I'll have to look because I mean, like nowhere on the car that I've looked has a freaking like keyhole.
And
Well, there should
Patty
be a
Melt-
keyhole.
My Grand Cherokee, there was a little like slide where I would slide it down and the key would pull out. On Patty Melt's Ford Explorer, you have to take the back of the
the fob apart.
The fob that you got to take the back apart and take the little key out. Ford's
That's
design of the key fob for her Explorer is the most idiotic design in terms of key fobs I've ever seen. Like the actual.
Hold on. I will be right back.
here. We'll do a demo right here.
We're gonna do a demo right here. You people are gonna see. Yeah, what's up?
So
Patty Milk's coming through. I thought she was gonna come through and be like, "Oh, let's see. I can't see it. I can't see it. Down."
right.
Yeah, there should be one right on the bottom. Look.
Well,
where
there's
the
a
key pin is.
switch
Turn it
right
around.
here,
Turn it around.
Oh,
Yes.
and then it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to do with one hand, but yeah, it comes out
Okay.
there.
Dan. Yeah. Right there.
Yeah. And then that just goes right back in.
If I had Patty Melt's key here, I could do it, but I don't want to get up and get her key. It's just
Well,
you just take the
probably-
back cover off.
Probably John has the same thing.
They all have it. They all
Yeah.
have some sort of physical key to still get in the car, and then sometimes you have to take there's like a little cover plate just to the right of the handle. Sometimes you might have to take something off. It might
Right.
be underneath. Yeah.
Yeah, because they can't just leave it to the battery because you're John's right. You'd be screwed.
Mm-hmm.
But I could see that
What's
being a
taking him
thing.
so long? Is he going to China to get a new key fob?
I could see that being a thing though, where they don't give you a key and you have to call them to unlock it, like show up, and then you got to pay for it. Like everything is about
you guys
finding a
hear
new
it
way to
first.
pay for something.
Yes, Dan's got it on the thing. You're going to hear it first.
I heard what?
Where's the key?
Oh, so okay, so this. Let me go to the
Can't see
camera.
it.
Mhm. See that silver part? There probably is one right underneath that.
No, so
there should
that
be a little.
that doesn't
There
come
should be a
off.
little slide. There should be a little slide somewhere on there with a manual key.
No, well, so this doesn't come off, but there is. I don't know if you can see it. There's this little thing on the back. I'm gonna pull this off and see what this is.
And then?
And Dan? Oh, we thought you went to China to get a new fob.
Why is it
Yeah.
fighting me? Is it
I
fighting
took
me?
my key apart and put it back together while you were gone.
Dude, I can't
On camera.
I can't open this stupid thing. All right, I'm gonna go against like YouTube rules here.
Yeah.
This is
Patty Melts is a pain in the ass to get it open, and that's where her like little extra key is. And then I think it's underneath maybe, or you pull the thing off.
Yeah, there's like a little door. I can tell it's like a door that comes off, but I don't understand. Like I'm sliding this thing over and it's not coming off.
you
It's a
need
pain.
to,
Patty Melts is a pain in the ass. Like it
Oh
is
shit!
legit.
Look at that. You're right.
there you go.
Okay, so the slide on the back gets this thing out. Okay, that makes sense.
Let me see if I get Patty Melts right quick. Give me 1 sec.
Is it the same as mine? I bet it was the same as mine. They're all like that now. But
Yeah,
I was
so there's a little slide. I thought it was opening this like panel, but it's not. You slide it, and then the silver part, Eric's right, comes out. So it's slide here. I'll show.
right. No, I did the same thing.
Yeah, give me a few.
But I was telling Eric I could see this in the future where you don't even get a key.
Got it.
And if your battery dies, then you need to call them to come out and you have to pay them.
Well, so the funny thing is, and I don't know how that works with like Tesla, but Tesla.
Here's Ford's useless bullshit key fob. Let's see if I can get it open.
You could have the
behind here is a little key.
Oh, see, the Tesla, you can have an app on your phone and like do everything on your phone too. Because there was that thing
but
where like
I've heard half the time that shit sucks.
the one I've seen one video of a guy using it where they do that like come to me mode, where like if you're in a parking lot, it'll back out and drive to you. Yeah, it's messed up. Like the guy's at like a mall parking lot and he pulls his phone out and there's like a button when he logs into it and you see the car back out and it literally just drives up to him and stops
in front of that shit.
and like there's nobody in the car, so it's not like he was faking it, but I'm like, what the hell? Like so the only other thing is
key fob out.
I don't know how to split this open to get
The battery?
the battery. Yeah.
I'm not messing with this.
That's a pain in the ass too. It can be done. Get like a flathead screwdriver and pop it open.
Yeah, I didn't even realize this thing. So, but the
Get a BFH.
So now I gotta look because now that I know there's an actual key, like I don't know where the hell the keyhole is because like I'm thinking next to the handle. Although I have seen, I think, and maybe that's how it is on the Honda, the cap. You know how like when you pull on the handle, and like the handle kind of comes out, like to the right, there's a little cap that stays on the door. I've seen some cars where you pop that cap off, and that's where the keyhole is.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Damn it! Now I'm like, okay, I'm feeling a little better about it because at least I know, like on the I don't know how that'll work on this car though, but like on the Equinox, you know how some of them you can there's like a little hole next to the shifter that you can put it in and drop it in neutral. So the Equinox doesn't actually have that because it's all-wheel drive. And
you gotta take the center console out.
Yeah, you pull the cable. Yeah, there's like actually a cable you got to yank, I guess, inside the console.
Yeah, same with my Jeep.
I don't know if that's how that works on the Honda, but I mean, hopefully I never have to use it.
Yeah, I don't think.
Are you talking about like the solenoid?
No. Like next to where your shifter is, there's like sometimes there's like a slot or there's like a little cap over it, and you pop it out, and it's actually you could fit the key in there. And it pushes a release that you could shift the thing into neutral. So like if you've got to
Oh,
roll
okay.
it out of the way and the car won't start, or you can't shift it, like if you can't start it or put your foot on the brake and actually get it out of gear, out of park, you could forcibly put it in neutral that way and move it. But on all-wheel drive, it's a pain because you got to change. It's got to disconnect all the shit. So like on her car, it's like you got to freaking take the whole console, pop it off, and I guess there's a cable, like a wire you yank on that actually pulls something and changes the trans to allow it to do it. I don't know.
Yeah, but I get it. I mean, this whole everybody not wanting the everyday people to repair their shit, right?
I don't know.
Because it's a win-win for manufacturers. Because
Yeah.
if you're preventing people from repairing shit, you're preventing injuries and lawsuits potentially, and you're also charging more to repair the stuff that those people can no longer repair.
Well, I mean, I liken it to
Planned
like
obsolescence.
yeah, but I mean, I kind of think of it sometimes too as people don't want to be bothered by that. Like I get it. There's people who don't like anything to do about cars. They could give two shits. They just want it to go to and from, and that's it. Like they
Oh, that's
don't.
me raising my hand right there.
But like oh, I know how to put gas in it. I know how to change wiper blades. I know how to do. You know how to do the basics. Like you may not change your own oil, but that's fine. Like the basic stuff, I expect you to like. To me, if you drive a car, like I can't get over the fact when you go to like a freaking I've seen this countless times at the gas station by my house. They have diesel pumps next to the regular gas, and they're like the green handles. And if you ever looked, the diesel nozzle is bigger, so it doesn't fit inside a standard gas.
What's that?
Like I've always seen people like try and put diesel into their car, and they're like, "Oh, it doesn't work," and I'm like, "You're using the wrong." Like that's like the first thing you should learn about driving a car.
Well, that and which side of the car the gas tank's on.
Well, I admit, like the way I understand it is some cars, and like all the ones I've driven so far, have the arrow that shows you like a fuel tank on either side. I've been in some cars that don't. Oh, hi, Patty Melt.
They say hello, Patty Melt.
I mean, I've been in some cars that don't, and it's
Patty
like
Melt's going to bed.
to me that should be like a thing that all cars have, like standard. But I don't know. I mean, it's like some of the most basic stuff to me, like why can't people just learn how to do some things? Like take pride in your stuff and like understand how it works. Like don't just use it, abuse it, and throw it away.
But there's cannabis and THC and TikTok.
Yeah, that's true. But TikTok tells you a lot of crap. I love the TikTok life hacks that like half of the shit's like, come on, really? Like, oh, if you do this to your car, it'll make it, you'll get 600 miles to the gallon. Like, oh, you could run on hydrogen, just put water in your gas tank. Like, do people think about shit before they do it? Clearly not.
No, they don't.
That's why we've got people dying doing TikTok challenges.
Right.
Eating Tide Pods.
Yeah.
What was the milk crate one where they'd run up the milk crates and like half the people would fall and like break their necks and shit? And
oh, I love that one.
Like,
that one cracks me up.
What
I love people doing dumb shit. I love it when people do dumb shit.
I don't get some people
out there. This is another reason why I don't blame manufacturers from not letting people repair shit.
I get it.
They're definitely it's a lawsuit waiting to happen.
But I mean, I think it's similar to like McDonald's, the spilling the coffee in your lap. Like, I mean, you look at like a car engine and there's like, the belt where it is. Like they show the universal like picture of a guy's hand, like with fingers cut off, like don't touch this or that shit's going to happen to you. Like they had to put that there because somebody did that.
Right.
Like,
yeah, exactly. And then, sometimes when you had a remote start, sometimes, disconnecting the battery could kick that remote start on. Now, no offense. I've done thousands of remote starts. Ooh, I got some washout going on there.
That's
I have never had one kick on after taking the battery off.
Jesus. Well,
You
how
know?
does you're talking about like if you disconnect the battery, it'll car will start?
Disconnect the battery and reconnect it. Sometimes the car would
Oh,
start.
okay,
Now,
okay.
no offense to thousands of remote starts I've did thousands of remote starts that I have installed over the
Yeah.
course of my lifetime. Now it's been a number of years, but none of them started on their own without some sort of activation from like the module. Which, although the dealer that we bought my Wrangler from said it has a remote start, and guess what? It doesn't. They also said
Got
it
it.
had the e-torque 5.7 liter Hemi in it too. Guess what? It doesn't.
Ah. But
So I
see,
should have been a
like
prick.
I also think like along the same terms like the remote start, like there's people who need to be told like you don't remote start the car in your garage. Like, to me, that's like a no-brainer.
I sure as hope none of the remote starts I've ever put in were remote started in a garage.
You know what though? Like, I mean, the bad part of me says like good because it's one less idiot I have to deal with. But like, yeah, the good part of me says no. I feel sorry for that because it's like someone has to live with that decision.
Mm-hmm.
There's some fallout that's gonna happen from that. Like, you know, it's like I don't know. I
There's
like that.
definitely there's
It's
a loss of, I don't know, common sense, knowledge, wisdom.
yes, common
There's some kind of
sense,
drop off.
common sense. I
I
think
Well,
blame Zach Brown Band.
the Joker.
were they on the steel cage in '98?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe it's also when Hector
They
was running
yeah.
3 Honda Civics with spoon engines.
They threw Undertaker off of Hell in the Cell on top of Mankind in 1998. Wait a minute. No, I think I did that wrong.
They threw the cell on
Yes.
mankind.
What? What's a Togger? Todger? Is this European? I don't know
Yes.
that word.
Yes.
Why do they use such a seductive picture? Like, come on. You know, so I was thinking about that the other day, actually. Not the seductive picture. But like
A Togger?
a tiger, yeah. No, like
I
stock
found
stock
mums.
photos, like iPhoto, iStock, whatever. Like with AI, is all that shit gonna go away? Because like there's people who take photos of like nature and sell them to stock photo to use as like their own photos. Like now that I can go to
Yeah.
Midjourney and I can say, give me the scene of someone, you know, laying on a bed playing with their Todger. Like,
Oh,
like
man.
who needs stock photo anymore?
You're gonna get some amazing ads
I will.
on your Facebook.
Oh my
No,
god.
you're right.
Yeah, I mean like I get people bitching about like, oh yeah, he's gonna take our jobs, blah blah blah. I don't, you know, yeah, some jobs, not every freaking job.
I hope it takes mine.
Take my job. Can we fight against AI and like build a wall to keep them out? Like we could put up that firewall and make them pay for it.
It'd probably be kind of difficult. I mean, the resistance has been trying to do that for how long? And I
Yeah,
mean, John Connor was
yeah.
unable to get through.
That's true. That's
You
true.
know,
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
we haven't let them become self-aware yet, though. Thank God. That one that those researchers at like MIT built that like said the solution to world hunger was reduce the population. Like they shut that shit off real quick.
Kind of sounds like a few things I've seen before.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm getting a
Did-
phone charger because my
Did
phone sucks.
did the Trump administration think AI was south of the border?
I don't know, man. I'm telling you, we should build a firewall and keep them out.
That's why they built that wall. They built a physical wall.
Yeah, yeah. This will stop
So
them
it-
robots.
So what you're telling me is they should have put fire on it, and then it would have been a firewall.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Like that, like the thing I linked earlier with the floating devices of death in the river. Did you see that at the border?
Heck yeah.
It's like they're buoys, but they've got like circular saw blades in between them, so people can't like.
Yeah, from what
Oh
I've
my
been reading,
god.
the amount of resources and everything that's being taxed down there,
Oh my god!
that
But
they got to
like,
do what they got to stop. They
I,
got to stop it
I
somehow.
what happened to the whole like we welcome people in like Ellis Island? Give me your poor, your huddled masses, whatever the fuck that is.
That
Like, what
was when
happened
we
to
didn't have
that?
There
enough
is
people.
there's no Ellis Island down there.
Okay,
People are
but
just crossing the border all willy nilly.
I
Now, if we
get
were
it.
going through an Ellis Island, that'd be a different story completely.
I
But
don't
like
get it.
some of these people, I get it. They may be nefarious. They may be smuggling drugs. They may be smuggling people. I don't know what the fuck they're
There's been
doing.
Chinese spies caught down there. There's been
There,
Iraqi spies caught.
there are
Iranian,
people,
Iraqi,
but
Middle Eastern. I'll just
there are
generalize. Sorry.
legitimate people that want to leave Mexico because of the cartels and the war and the fighting and all that
Yeah,
shit
but
that's
a
going on
lot
down
of these
there.
people aren't actually Mexican. They're from like Guatemala and all that. They're from Venezuela.
But you can't
Yeah, well, they
just
got to go through Mexico. It's still
They got to
south.
go through Mexico.
and I get it. They're like victims
And
of
Mexico has a border wall to Guatemala. So why is
Right.
Mexico allowed to have a border wall, but
Well,
we're not?
I think they just let anybody in, don't they? I don't know what the hell Mexico does. I mean,
Do you know what you need to do to become a Mexican citizen and to own property in Mexico?
show up?
Play
I don't
guitar.
know.
A
Yeah.
shitload more than we do.
I need to wear a sombrero and sorry,
I
sorry.
think you have
That's
to be there for like 10 years before you can even like buy a house or own a
What?
house or something like that.
what?
Yeah, to become
No,
a Mexican
I don't know if
citizen.
that's true. Oh, become a citizen?
Oh,
No,
yeah.
to buy a house. If I recall right, yes, it's true.
I mean, but like,
Because I saw a thing about people from California were moving to Mexico to work remotely because it was cheaper to live in Mexico.
well, that's what I've always heard. Like when you go to like California, you cross the border there, like Baja or whatever the hell it is. They always say going from the U.S. to Mexico is like you just literally drive through and the guy looks at your car and waves you on. Like you may get stopped occasionally, but like coming from Mexico to the U.S., it's like they stop everybody. They look at your car, they look at your papers, they look at all kinds of shit.
No,
Like,
see,
I
I
don't know.
could go to Mexico and become a citizen because you have to have a legal residence in Mexico for 5 years. You have to be married. You can like marriage to a citizen, a Mexican citizen, descendant, a direct descendant.
Well, so that's like the U.S.
Be
Like
from
if you
be from another country, a Latin America country, or Spain. I have Spanish blood in me.
okay, so like that would explain why the Guatemalans or whatever can all just rush in there because they're from Guatemala. I don't know. But I mean, like that's no different than the U.S. Like if you live
Look at
here,
what you have to do. In general, here's what you have to do to become a citizen. In general, you should expect to have to do the following: a valid passport, valid resident card issued by immigration, provide an original birth certificate, legalize your original birth certificate depending on your country of birth, translate your birth certificate into Spanish, provide Mexican passport sized photos, seized, need to wear my glasses. Provide a federal criminal record check issued in person in Mexico City. Provide a local criminal record check from the municipality in which you live. Provide copies of every page of your passport. Write a letter stating your entrances and exits from Mexico. Provide a record of your entrances and exits from immigration. And if your passport stamps are not legible, you have to fill out an application called a DNN3. You pay at a bank and provide the receipt. You make dozens, if not hundreds, of copies. You pass a 10-question test on Mexican history and culture. Most people in the U.S. couldn't pass a 10-question test on American history and
yeah,
culture,
yeah.
let alone a Mexican. You have to read a short story and answer several multiple choice questions about it. Write 3
Well,
sentences in grammatically correct Spanish describing the scene in a picture that is given to you. You have to
Wow.
and fix any mistakes to try again at least once. And
well, there's
depending on which
probably
method you apply and where you apply, you might also have to provide your marriage certificate, legalized, translated if applicable. Provide the birth certificate of your Mexican child if applicable. Provide a copy of your CURP printed on the same day in some offices. Provide a letter from your partner stating that you are a responsible parent if applicable. Sing or recite the national anthem in some offices, including Merida and Cancun, and you have to describe the national symbols in some offices.
You're probably right,
So
Dave.
there's the Mexican, what you have to do to become.
I mean,
There's what you have to do to become a Mexican
but
citizen.
but
But you
like,
don't have to be.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, you could.
And to apply for that, you have to apply for citizenship. You must have a valid resident card, and in most cases, this will be a permanent residence. But it is possible to apply for citizenship in the third or fourth year of temporary residence if you're applying under any of the categories other than having lived in Mexico for 5 years.
But I mean, like,
There's a whole laundry
already
list of
there, but if
You
you're
have to
already
prove who you are.
there, and like you say, like, oh, I'm gonna go down there and I get married to somebody, you're a citizen by
You
marriage.
could become a citizen,
I
but
mean,
then I
that's-
think you still probably have to do some of these.
Well, but that's like no different than like the U.S. Like, that's why a lot of these people do, like, you know, the 90-day fiance, where they go and they meet him, they bring him over here, they become their wife, and then it's like,
Yeah,
oh,
but
you're
all
a
these-
citizen
all these-
now.
Okay, but all these people that are crossing over and causing all this strain, like Chicago had what, 40,000
Yeah.
illegal immigrants? Look at all the people that are on the sidewalks in New York right now.
I think
In upscale Manhattan.
I think if like the legit ones that come here that actually want to be citizens and go through the process, like, those are the ones that, like, I feel sorry for, because they get lumped in with everybody else who
And
either
that's
got
where,
put
like-
on a bus and shipped here, or snuck in and now they're considered, like, you know, trafficking or whatever. But it's like, the legit people that go and want to go through the process, like, yeah, maybe we should do something for them, because obviously there's a reason they're leaving that country, whether it's war, famine, crime, whatever. Like, give them a place to stay while they go through the process, and then say,
And
okay,
that's where
fine.
that's where we need an Ellis Island. But do we really
Well,
need them sitting there going into hotels in Chicago?
No, I mean,
and
that's
we're putting
the
up
problem.
how many homeless veterans? Or
Yeah.
how many homeless veterans do we have that served our country?
Yep.
Now, am I opposed to immigration? No, not at all. You know, I have no problems with that. But
Right.
you know, if we're going to compare apples to apples, people are just coming over across the border,
Yeah.
and that's all nationalities are coming over there, and there's proof
Yep.
of that. So I'm not just saying,
I think the legit
Mexicans,
one,
it's
the
the
legit
Polish,
number, the legit number is a lot smaller. So, like, if you get 10,000 people coming across, you know, maybe a couple dozen might be legit. Like, I want out of my country.
Maybe.
Everybody
Maybe.
else is either, you know, nefarious, or, I mean, drug smuggling, whatever. I can't imagine there's that many people that want to actually come here, that, like, want to follow the process. And I think, you know, you outlined
Right.
the process for Mexico. Like, that process for the US is very similar, like, involved step by step. They got to go to classes, they got to learn language, they got to be able to do this,
would you
this,
rather-
and that.
Would you rather
And a
be
lot
an
of the
illegal
people
immigrant?
don't want to deal with that. So they
Let's say
take
we're
their
Canadian.
chance of, like, oh, I'm going to go. They're going to put me on a bus and ship me off to Chicago. I walk out of the hotel.
Which, no offense, if you're an illegal immigrant and you get put on a bus to Chicago, go south.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Winter in the Midwest sucks.
Winter in the Midwest sucks, and then, you know, look at how many people got shot last weekend. So weekends in the Midwest suck too. So, like, you know, you don't want to be Hispanic or something in the city of Chicago and have no idea what's going on because you wander into the wrong part of town. You're in trouble.
Anybody. You don't want to be any. Let's not even put Hispanic.
Yeah, I guess
you don't want to
anybody.
be anybody. You know,
Yeah.
In the wintertime. No.
If you show up here on a bus and someone's like, "Oh, go over here," and you walked like the wrong block, you're gonna get whacked.
Now let's say we're
like
Canadian.
Chicago.
Would you rather? Let's say going through a laundry list of what it takes to become a U.S. citizen or a Mexican citizen. Now we're Canadian citizens. Okay. So we want to leave Canada, which, okay, Canada kind of sucks, but
No offense to our
Where would
Canadian
you
friends.
where would you rather? Oh, I know plenty of Canadian people that are like, dude, it sucks up here, but it sucks
Yeah.
everywhere. So 6 of one, half a dozen of the
I
other.
think it's all relative. Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you rather be an illegal immigrant here in the U.S. and get pampered, or be an illegal immigrant in Mexico and, well, be in a
So
jail there?
I'll be honest with you.
Well,
I think there's like a weird stigma
You're,
that says like if you come from the South, you're like a bad person or you don't speak the language and you shouldn't belong here, versus like someone who comes from the North that maybe they speak English or broken English. They probably speak it better than most people that live here. Like they would almost probably seem like they're more welcoming of certain
yeah.
people than others and more lenient to say like, oh, you're French Canadian and you just want to come here for whatever reason, like versus you're a Hispanic, Guatemalan, whatever, and you want to defect because the drug cartel's chasing your ass. I don't know. I mean, like like why would like
No,
to
you're
me I think they pick and choose like how they treat certain people, certain ethnicities,
Well,
certain races, whatever.
if you're in Mexico, now this is according to the books. This is not according to what probably actually happens, but this is according to the book. If you're in Mexico and you are found to be an illegal immigrant, it is then a felony under Mexican law. You are then now, the mandate states that the penalty is up to 2 years in prison and a fine of 300 to 500,000 pesos.
So wait a
Which
minute.
is any foreigner that enters the country illegally. Now, I don't know what the pesos means in terms of dollars for any kind of.
Well, then they're probably having the same problems we have because
So
aren't there illegal immigrants going into Mexico every day?
500,000 pesos is about 30,000 US dollars.
Okay.
So wait a minute. So if you're put in prison for 2 years and you're saying you've got to live there 5 years, all you got to do is get arrested like 3 times, spend 60 grand or 90 grand, and you're now a Mexican citizen. Like, sign me up.
That's good.
Maybe.
I was thinking the same thing.
like
That
I'll
sounds
spend 2 years.
sketchy.
Yeah, like what if they just stay in prison those
Well,
5 years and now they I've been here 5 years in
If
prison.
if you marry a Mexican, you don't automatically get a Mexican citizenship.
Okay.
So it allows you to skip a few steps, but
But I mean if you
and
spend
it
if you spend
grants
a
you.
couple years in a Mexican prison, you'll probably learn the language real quick.
you'll definitely marry.
Yeah, you'll probably definitely marry. I'm sure there'll
You
be plenty
married the
of
whole
books you
thing.
could read to learn about culture.
With the opportunity to renew, you are granted a 1 year temporary residency when you marry into a Hispanic or a Mexican girl or a Mexican boy, depending,
Okay.
whatever. You're granted a 1 year temporary residency with the opportunity to renew for a total of 2 years.
Okay, so that's 4 years. I spent 2 in prison and then I get married coming out of prison. That's 4 years. What do I do for the last year? I try and lay low.
A guide to the Mexican border laws and the consequences of breaking them. If I would have known we were going to talk about this, I would have.
I would have done my research, yeah.
Do you
I would've
have
done
your
more
book
research.
with you? Do you have a book or something?
I think he's Googling
Sort
it,
of.
right?
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, you said according to the book or something, so I thought maybe you had it. You
Guide to Mexican border laws. Eric went to the
like, are
library
you
and checked it
studying to
out.
become a border guard?
Hey, that's Department of
hell
Homeland
no.
Security, right? Or is that somebody else? I don't know who that is.
He's guarding Wisconsin from Illinois.
That's right. That's right. Is that DHS or is that like BlackRock? Would you be like a civilian contractor? They're gonna put you. You need him on that wall. You want him on that wall.
want him on that wall.
You can't handle the truth about Canada.
300 yards away from me are some. What do we call it? What do they call us?
Canucks? Oh,
Fibs.
us? Fibs,
Who
yeah.
want our cheese?
Keep them out of we'll keep them out of our cheese castle.
Okay, the Supreme Court of Mexico ruled in favor of 3 Mexicans in May of 2022. So it looks like some laws might have changed, but they were subjected to physical abuse by Mexican immigration officials.
Like this was something they did on purpose.
Mexican immigration agents were allowed to carry out stop and search operation on highways and forms of public transportation. In 2022, looks like they changed the law because some Mexican, it says they're indigenous Mexicans. So I'm going to assume it was, Mexican citizens
Like
were
OG
physically
Mexicans.
abused. The young detainees, two sisters and their 18-year-old brother, were indigenous Mexicans. So they were there on suspicion of being Mexican immigrants. They're illegal immigrants in Mexico, excuse me, due to their inability to speak Spanish. So you're going to tell me you're from Mexico, but you can't speak Spanish? Okay.
Well, I could see that if it's like one of the border towns. Like you go like Baja. Baja is probably like
it's a grim reminder of the kind of fate that might befall illegal immigrants in Mexico. Yeah. These people were beat.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. Like here, at least in my area, there's a big Polish population, or like Slovak. There's people that live here that are like kids in grade school with my grandson.
Mm-hmm.
They don't speak English that well, but they speak Polish like fluently because that's all they speak at home. And I mean, like, whatever. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it.
So if you're caught being an illegal in Mexico, you could possibly get the shit kicked out of you, something fierce.
Well, so wait a minute.
Or killed.
I mean, that happens in America too.
Yeah. Did they deport you? Like, where do they send you?
I don't think they
Chicago.
They throw you in jail.
They put you on a bus. Go to Chicago. Dude, there you go. I just solved the whole transition issue. So like, if you're in California, you want to move to Chicago, just go across the border, act like an asshole, get thrown on a bus, and they'll put you up in Chicago for free.
Yeah.
Give you a phone.
Yeah, I'll send you to Chicago and be like, hey guys, I'm home.
Yeah, it looks like getting stuck in Mexico as an illegal is not a pleasant experience.
Yeah, I mean, getting stuck.
I think that's every country.
Getting stuck in America as an illegal is come on, dude.
America.
Yeah, tell that to the guy that died crossing the fucking river and got stuck in the buoys because there's saw blades in them.
Yeah, that's like on the Running Man.
Yeah,
crossover.
Was Arnold Schwarzenegger doing
right? Like what
commentary?
The hell? Like are they televising this?
Yeah.
I think you're a Survivor.
ESPN 8 the Ocho.
You know what? I've seen, this is a joke that I've seen online. I think we should allow all the illegals that want citizenship, let them hunt pedophiles, and we'll call it, Alien versus Predator.
There you go.
And we'll televise it.
That's none of this is new. I mean, if you like in the Middle East, they behead Americans. In Africa, there's like systemic genocide happening. It's all over the world.
Yeah.
Oh God, I was reading in Africa that there's an attack on white farmers.
What the hell was that?
Like they're attacking white farmers in Africa, like in South Africa.
Man. Dick's out for
farm white people?
No, they're murdering farmers. They're murdering white farmers in South Africa. Mm-hmm.
Where, like West Africa, like in
South Africa. I don't think there's many Caucasians in like the rest of the country, but the South is there's more Caucasians there.
I mean, technically it's their country.
Maybe excuse my ignorance. What the hell kind of farming can you do in Africa that you can't do like here or anywhere else?
Well, people live in Africa.
Okay,
Yeah,
but like,
Africa.
so these are like indigenous people that happen to be white that they're killing.
I wouldn't say they're indigenous.
Well, you said they're like white people that like live in Africa. Like, well, I mean, they're there, so like.
Well, yeah, but they didn't start there.
For discussion's sake, sure, we'll call them indigenous because I'm sure they've been. All the Caucasians that are in South Africa. I'm sure they've been there for quite a while.
Well, yeah, generations maybe.
Did they originally come there? No, I mean, look at the Germans in Argentina.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I mean, Britain rolled a 12D8
later.
Yeah, you got
took over half the world.
You got whole Bavarian cities in the freaking Peruvian mountains. That's fucked up.
And you're gonna tell me those Germans when they got there were no. Now, sure, the people that are born there now, a couple generations in, yeah, all right, close enough.
I mean,
I mean,
I
that's
still
probably
wouldn't
good.
call
Speaking of
them. I
indigenous,
wouldn't call them indigenous because they're not
Right.
from the area. Whether they've lived there, for the last 200 years that their families live there or whatever. Like, yeah, but you're not indigenous because you are not from that area. Like to
their
me,
ancestors are
indigenous.
not. Their ancestors are not from
Well,
that area. But
I
they
guess
are.
yeah. There's a question of semantics. Like I could say like, oh yeah,
Yes. Yeah. There we go.
yeah, because you're indigenous if your ancestors like were indigenous people, but like you being there because they grew up there and your family lived there for 100 years.
I mean-
I don't know that makes you indigenous really because you
Yeah.
weren't from there originally.
I was born here. Were you born here?
My
My ancestors were born here.
I'm not an indigenous American. Like I don't. I
I'm
think
not
of
an
like
indigenous American,
I'm
but
thinking of
we were born here. So technically,
Yeah,
it's semantics, like you said.
yeah. To me, an indigenous American is basically American Indian.
I wasn't born.
That
I wasn't
to me,
born
that's
in
indigenous.
Poland. I wasn't born in Ireland. I wasn't born in Spain.
Yeah.
I think what other bloodlines
I mean,
are
could
in
I
me,
could I go back to like Czechoslovakia and be like I'm indigenous because I've got Slovak in my blood? Probably not.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's semantics. Are
Yeah.
they were the British people 200 years ago when they came over? Were they indigenous? Oh hell no.
No, yeah.
No. But
But
now,
I mean, yeah.
yeah, because those people were born there.
Yeah.
So it's semantics. It's
Well,
tomato.
but
tomato.
yeah, it's a culture thing. I mean, it's obvious that they didn't start there, right? And how they treated
Yeah.
people across continents.
And I'm
So you
sure
have
sorry.
you have generations there that have this
Mhm.
kind of negative view of Britain, of white
Yeah.
people.
Probably
And they wanna
for a
scrub
damn
'em.
good reason, because I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure that
exactly.
when it has something to do, I think, with apartheid.
But so what I don't understand is
I think that's what it has to do with, if I recall correctly. I read it like a week and a half ago.
when did all that happen? Like what was like
I
200
think-
years ago, 100 years ago, whatever.
when
Yeah,
Britain
well,
came-
when Britain was colonizing every freaking country and enslaving
Yeah.
everyone.
So I mean, you're talking, like
and
14,
treating everybody like second-class citizens, like their
but that
dogs
was-
had more rights than the people.
But you're talking what, like 14th, 15th century, maybe? I don't know.
No, like 1700s, 1800s,
Okay,
and into
so
the
you're-
1900s.
So what I don't understand is you look at that, like maybe even
Anybody
1900s.
has a response or an opinion on this?
Oh yeah,
Drop
this
in
is
the
this is
comments,
going to be a
please.
hot topic, I'm sure. But like, okay,
Probably
figure 1700s. Your family came back in the 1700s or came over there, and Britain raped and pillaged or whatever. Like, you're talking 320 years later, and you're still holding a fucking grudge over that. You weren't even
it's
around.
in their DNA.
You weren't even around then. The people that you're killing or fighting weren't even around then. Like, how can you do that? Like,
It
what?
gets passed down by their grandparents.
I
It's
don't.
in their DNA.
Yeah, racism is.
I don't know.
I wasn't brought up to be racist. My kids aren't being brought up to be racist.
I get it. Yeah, like you go south. Like you go anywhere south of like the Mason-Dixon line, and it's like it's rampant. Like you don't. Like I'm surprised. Like when we travel, like go through some of these like mountain towns in like Virginia, and you're like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
I actually, speaking of that,
oh crap! I'm afraid to be here.
I forget what she is. I forget what. I think she's Mexican. I think that's what Hiladia is, descendant of. I don't think she's Guatemalan or anything like that. I think she is her family's from Mexico. She told me, anybody listening, I'm not trying to be racist or anything like that. This is educational purposes. If you walk up to a Mexican Mexican person, and call them a Mexicano, I was told that is a offensive term to them.
Like a slang term or something.
I think so. Yeah, she just told me that that's what it is. Now I don't know if that's true of all of the Mexican people, or her, or etc. But I was told that is an offense. Calling someone a Mexicano is an offensive term.
Is that like?
I did not know that.
Is that like an N-word type thing to them?
No, I don't think so. I think that's more the S word.
Ah, okay. I know what you're
You
going.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think that's more along the lines of an N bomb. But
There's a certain cleaning material that they had to change the name because of that.
yeah, in case anybody didn't know, thank you. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
trying to leave that out because I don't need anybody going, "You're racist." No, I'm not.
But
If someone's an asshole, that person is an asshole. It's
Yep.
not their entire race, creed,
Yeah.
sex, anything.
I guess though,
It's
like,
the
I mean,
person.
there's you probably run into that with like, any race though. I mean, like you look at like calling Polish person a Polak, like that's kind of like a derogatory term to some of them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, it all depends on how they take it. And like I'll be like, I'm Polish. I've been called a Polak. It doesn't bother me. I don't, whatever. I mean, is it equivalent to like doing that? Like if you walk up to somebody and just say it to their face, like I guess I could see how that could be like, if you don't know me and you saw me on the street, some guy got in my face and said, "You stupid Polak." Like it's a little bit presumptuous, but like you're probably gonna get smacked because like
Exactly.
I don't know you. Like what the hell?
mhm.
But that's
You know,
racism. They're insinuating that you're.
Yeah. I mean, is it? Yeah. I mean, you get that stigma where like oh like, well, what is it, like Mexicans are lazy, they don't want to work, or they only take the shit jobs that no one wants to do. Polacks are stupid. They're idiots.
Actually,
the screen door on a submarine jokes. Like, I mean, I think
Mexican
there's
guys
like
are
a
lazy. I had a Mexican
stigma
guy
that
tell
goes
me this
along with
once.
those.
Yeah, there are stigma. Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. A Mexican guy told me this once, Jose. I worked with him, at Harper. He said it's Mexican, not Mexicant.
Yeah, yeah. I've heard
I
that.
was
I mean,
like,
that's
I
like,
was like, oh, okay. I'm like,
from a
can
movie.
I say that? Can I say that?
well, I mean, to me, it's like I always think of it
Because
as
it
like
was funny
they're a
to me.
freaking hard worker because
I mean, yeah, he was a hard worker. So
yeah,
I mean, I'm
they're the
not,
ones that are doing the shit jobs and they're not complaining about it. Whereas you got the blonde haired blue eyed chick with her Uggs that like, oh, I can't clean the bathroom, that's beneath me. Like, bitch, clean the fucking bathroom, it's your job. Like, I mean, you don't take the job if you don't want to do it or you don't know what's involved with it. Like these, like I don't, it's like the same thing. Like they always seem to be cleaning people or like gardeners, lawn care. Like maybe they just like that shit. Like, dude, if I could make a living doing that, that'd be awesome. Because like you're outside all day. You don't really got a freaking office. Your scenery changes almost every goddamn day. I mean, like, who wouldn't
I
want
wanted
that?
to
no,
back to our culture clashes. I mean, that happens too with us and Native Americans in America, right?
Well, I mean, I think any race it
And in
really happens with.
Canada,
Yeah,
and in
speaking
Canada,
of,
and then also in the 20th century, that's how Israel and Palestine divided, right?
yeah,
All the Israelis went to claim
yeah.
back the homeland,
But
and now
didn't
you have
they?
a freaking powder keg over there.
Wasn't that like a
Like
big like
no one can get
caste?
along.
But don't they like still follow like a whole caste system thing, like in Egypt or like in Israel and Palestine, where like certain people or certain families are like regarded higher than others, and like that just led to this big divide that they were
Well,
like,
that's
no,
in
we're all
India.
people. Well, but I mean, I thought like Israel and all that had that same shit. And it's huge in like
Well,
India. I know that. Yeah, that's a big thing in India.
Israel is like entirely Jewish, and Palestine is not.
But
So
I thought like a lot of that crap was like with, and I don't. I mean, I'm not Jewish. I couldn't tell you, but I thought it was a very similar thing where like certain families were like, maybe better off, or they always said they were better than the Palestinians, and it's like they treated them differently or like lesser people, and that's what kind of started that whole powder keg because they were just like, hey, we're just
no,
people,
they just they just kept displacing them.
like just shoving them out of the way,
Yeah,
like we're
and
gonna
they're
take
doing
your
it now
land. Yeah, I
all
mean,
over.
yeah. Well, I mean, they do that here. It doesn't matter really, I guess, what race you are. It's like, we did that. We basically tried to do that. How many people were doing that shit during the 2021 when they were targeting, Chinese or Asian people because they blamed them
Which is
for COVID.
for COVID, which is stupid.
Yeah, but I mean the same shit. It's that mob mentality. Like once somebody does it and everybody else just jumps on the bandwagon, like come on.
You're going to tell me the proprietors of King Dragon down the street had
Right.
anything to do with a COVID shot
Oh,
or COVID
they're
shot,
they're
COVID
they're,
vaccine,
they're
COVID
the
virus.
leak, yeah, the leak of the COVID virus at a Wuhan lab. They must be indigenous. That might be why.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, yeah. The people that blamed the Chinese people,
I don't. I mean, come on.
just random Chinese people. Now, if you're going to tell me it's Doctor So and So at the Wuhan lab, okay, all right, maybe.
The thing
maybe.
is, though, is
Dude down the street
historically
that has the Chinese restaurant down the street, you're an idiot if you're going to blame the guy with the Chinese restaurant down the street.
historically though that shit happens everywhere all the time. Look at after 9/11, how many freaking brown people got basically profiled because like, oh, you're one
When
of
the
them.
When the Japanese hit Pearl Harbor, when the
Right.
Germans bombed Pearl Harbor,
that was
Germans.
that was
Never mind.
so
Let 'em
so
go.
the funny thing
The
is
internment camps.
I don't know that it's funny, but after Japan attacked Pearl Harbor and news got out, there were Japanese Americans that were here that were basically getting targeted, same as the Arabs or whoever after 9/11, same as the Chinese during COVID. It's like I think
At least
historically people look at that and go, oh my god, they're one of them, they must be bad because of who they are, like what color they are. Like, does anybody stop to think, like, I live next to this guy, I've worked next to this guy, I've gone to his Chinese restaurant, I've gone to his whatever, and it's like now all of a sudden you hate this person because what somebody told you to on the news, or because like what the virus came out of a lab from the country that he may not even be from. What if he's what if that person's
like
indigenous?
Generation,
what
American,
if that guy's indigenous? What if he's
Actually,
lived here?
there was the guys when I was in Florida in December, January. They were telling me that a couple houses down, they've been in this house, I don't know, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years. I don't remember how long they've been there. But there was a family. They were of Middle Eastern descent. I don't remember exactly what nationality, but they were very to themselves. This was before 9/11, before all the crap, and then after 9/11, they all left. There were no moving trucks. Everything was still in the house. Just left. Everything was still in the house. Just disappeared.
Huh, never came back.
Never came back.
Now that's where the conspiracy theorist people come out and say, like, okay, were they like a cell, like a sleeper cell, where they planted there, and they just had to bail because the shit went down? Or,
well, considering they left all their shit, I'm gonna have to hop on that bandwagon.
I mean, it could be like, yeah, they lived here and they realized shit's gonna go down. We're the same color as these guys. We got to get the fuck out of Dodge.
Wouldn't you take your shit and pack up and get the fuck out?
If it's that and possibly
life or death,
possibly dealing with Florida man.
Yeah.
Like, during the height of all that crap, I'd be like, you know what, we could buy new shit, honey. Let's go.
Right.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna have to hop on the conspiracy side and say that's a little shady.
Maybe I mean, the other thing is maybe they were freaking somebody in witness protection, and it was like, hey, shit, we got to move you guys, because of who you are and your color. Like this, we'll move you. Just leave everything. We'll find new shit for you. Witness protection puts them somewhere. I mean,
normally I like
know.
To look at the
I don't.
optimistic side.
I like to think.
Shady.
I like to think there's like some weird Jason Bourne conspiracy shit going on, but
the difference between the truth and a conspiracy is about 6 months.
The real truth of it could have been like, maybe they were here on visas and they're like, we got to get out of here before shit goes down, and they're just like, we're leaving. Maybe they weren't citizens.
You pack up your shit and get the fuck out.
Well, but like, if you're from another country, like, is it cheaper for you to just leave it here and not take it with you because you got to go back to wherever you came from?
I don't know. I think that's shady. If anybody else think it's shady,
if
or am
you're
I just being an
if you're
asshole?
that family and you're that guy and it's your
We're
family,
not
your
live.
wife, your kids, if that shit goes down on 9/11 and it comes out that these guys were the same nationality as you, or whatever, you got the same last name, or you look like them, and like maybe you don't get along with your neighbors already, maybe you're a quiet one, and like people start looking at you funny, like you already know that the people that lived here were starting to get profiled, like on 9/12. It was like, what the fuck, like oh, are you one of them? Like, come on. I mean, that shit was going on. And then for what, like 2 months, nobody was flying till they figured shit out. Those were the guys, the people that got scrutinized the most. Like, where are you going? What are you doing it for? Why are you leaving the country? Why are you like, they couldn't leave. So maybe like part of me wants to think.
We just had 2 buildings blown up.
I get
Whether
it.
you
but,
believe whether you believe it's
but,
it's
but if you're
it's different. I can't believe I'm going to defend this, but I'm going to play this side of the coin. It's different. It sucks that it happened on both. We'll just preface that.
Yeah.
But between attacking a Chinese person because some idiots in a lab let out a virus that was just the flu,
right,
compared to blowing up the 2 Twin Towers, Building 7, and the Pentagon, and then one coming this way and bombing Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
I think there's a difference between bombing Pearl Harbor and blowing and killing people versus just letting a little virus go.
Okay, so is there a difference between, Timothy McVeigh blowing up buildings or sending pipe bombs to people? You're a white guy. You're a white guy that lives in a rural town. Timothy McVeigh was a white guy that lived in a rural town. Oh shit, Eric's one of them. No, like, I mean, every friggin' school shooter that we've ever had that wore a trench coat. Now every fucking kid that wears a trench coat right away is a school shooter. I mean, I think it's the generalization.
If there's a profile for it, I think you should be checking it.
That's the key word right there, the profiling. And that's what got us in trouble after 9/11.
Because I see no problem with profiling. If there's an asshole rolling around my town with a gray beard, a white hat, and a big pink fucking heart on my chest,
I get it, and
I fit that profile. But if I have an alibi, like cameras, I'm walking past the school and the cameras see me.
If you're gonna profile, like, you better profile everybody the same. Don't pick them out because they're the same color of the guys that did that stupid terrorist act.
But then why?
Well, because you could be a domestic terrorist. You could be a guy.
Chris and I are walking down, and they're looking for. I'm Timothy McVeigh. They're looking for Timothy McVeigh.
Yeah, looks like
his
you.
Profile is a white guy with a gray ass beard, black shirt on, pink heart,
and a white hat,
and whatever hat this is, whatever color it is. Do you think they're going to go at Chris, or do you think they're going to come at me? Chris, by the way, is black. Well, to anybody that doesn't know, do you think if they're looking for a white guy with a gray beard, with a black shirt,
that makes sense,
they're going to profile me? Now, don't get me wrong. There could be, they might break his stones for being. They might be racist cops, and what are you doing?
Well, it also could be guilt by association, which a lot of the people fell into that as well.
But do you think they're going to profile me or him if they're looking for this?
They're not, but I think the problem is if like, it's not always about the color of the race. Like, I think if you're going to do it, you can't be selective, because that's what caused all these people to get pissed off. Like, if you're gonna say like, anybody could be like if I'm doing the TSA and I'm checkpointing, and I'm clearly only picking the people that are a different color, all the browns, all the blacks, all the whatever, and not the white people, like, that is wrong. Like, if you're gonna do a check and say, I want to see everyone's bag, do it for everybody. Don't let this guy go because he's the same color as you. Like, I'm just doing my job. Everybody's a suspect until proven otherwise. That shit goes out the window.
Maybe you're colorblind.
That's also no. I'm going to play it on the flip side here. I'm saying if they're looking for a Timothy McVeigh that looks like this.
If you have a
Graybeard.
definitive description, but I'm talking more about like when they did the profiling to people, like at the TSA, at the airport checkpoints, when it's like, oh, every white guy, every
stepping up for
blonde
that.
woman is getting through without a problem, and they could be
Hey,
just as
maybe-
well carrying something as
maybe-
same as this guy.
Maybe dude likes brunettes. You know? Maybe he likes redheads.
he's gonna,
but
he's
now
gonna
let's-
target
now
only the
let's-
redheads.
Now
I'm gonna
let's
give
now
you a
let's
pat
play,
down.
Let's play the other side of the coin. Technically, that violates search and seizure without a warrant.
Well,
Now,
but then
technically,
they're
that
gonna argue
violates
the
our-
whole Patriot Act.
That violates our Fourth Amendment, and any laws that are passed that are what's the word that are repugnant to the Constitution are null and void.
Yeah, but they went and passed the you know.
Isn't America
lip-
just
for
a
lip-
bunch
for
of
lip service.
loopholes?
Yeah,
For lip service. No, it's for lip service because
it's for lip service, but it allowed them to do what they wanted to do.
It's
You know,
been
look
ruled
at-
how many times
look
that
at-
anything
look at
that
all
goes
the-
against the Constitution.
Look at all the listening and the observation and all the data collecting shit that
Yeah.
that
the
goes
NSA
against our
and
Fourth
all that
Amendment,
shit
goes
died.
against
No,
our search and seizure right.
because
But that doesn't go
Legal
anywhere.
search and
they're saying that we've got the, you know, after 9/11 we put this Patriot Act out there that lets us do this, and they're like, that's the loophole. Like, okay, now we can tap your phones, we could do it without warrants because, oh, you said something like you're going to blow up a building. Now you're on a list, and that gives us right to do that.
any Homeland Security or FBI, CIA, you know, and any of those people that are tapping my phones or listening to this right now are going, dude, this dude's boring as shit.
Well,
do we
that's
really
the
have
thing,
to
like-
sit here
like,
and watch this guy? He doesn't do anything. He goes to work, the gym, and home.
I'm of the mindset that I think the people are the people that are the ones who bitch the loudest and have problems with it are probably those that don't want their shit to be known, because it's like, what do you got to hide? Like, I don't care. The fuck, you know, like,
Yeah, but that's
you
still
can look
against
at all
the-
my weird search history. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, but that's still your right to tell them no.
I-
Just because you don't want to exercise that
So-
right doesn't
so
mean
how
I don't
is-
have to.
How is that different if you're gonna go to that level where it's like, okay, it's our constitutional
It's
right.
our constitutional right. Then where do we stop it?
So
Then where do we
so
stop it? No more
at-
guns.
at work.
No more First Amendment. You can't
So
say
here, wait,
anything.
here, I'm gonna put this out there. At work, I work in IT. I do admin stuff. I get asked sometimes to say by legal or HR, pull this person's email because they want to review it for whatever reason. I do it. That person doesn't necessarily have to know if they're getting investigated or if they're getting fired or whatever. We don't tell them. Is that against any constitutional right to legal search and seizure?
Here's the problem. The Constitution tells the government what they cannot do. It doesn't tell you what a private entity. The government.
I get it,
cannot
but you
tell
still
you
have
the First
rights as a
Amendment,
citizen
the
and
govern-
within that
the
company.
government- Yeah, but the government cannot tell you to not say that. The
Well,
government
that's true,
cannot tell you
yeah.
you can't have a gun. The government cannot illegally search and seize anything without
Yeah.
a warrant. You know, I mean, there's cases where, you know, your
But
Fifth
isn't
Amendment.
the
I plead the Fifth.
Constitution dated?
No.
Well, I think I
Yes.
mean then you get your ratifies
Why
and
would
your changes, but there's some shit that needs to be, you know, reworked,
Okay, the Third
obviously.
Amendment, where we're talking about, you know, quartering soldiers,
Well,
giving soldiers, you know, enemy soldiers a full quarter.
I mean, do I believe that like some of this shit is outdated and needs to be revised or reviewed? Probably, but the problem is like as soon as
No,
you
we just
start,
need to pay attention to it.
as soon as you start doing that, that's when I think shit goes bad. That's why I think like you'll never get it to the point where as much as these guys push it, they're going to be like, oh, we're going to take guns away. We're going to stop this. Because not only is the Second Amendment right going to be a big problem to deal with, but you've got a lot of crazies out there that don't give a fuck about that Second Amendment right, that got weapons that'll be like, you're going to come and take them. There's going to be hell to pay. You know, these are the guys that are going to barricade themselves in their compound.
Well,
and fire
we're
back.
always talking about the First Amendment or the Second Amendment, excuse me. But we're also not talking about the First Amendment or the Fourth Amendment or the
Well,
Fifth Amendment. Like I said, the
yeah,
Third Amendment, if I recall, is quartering enemy soldiers.
Well,
Taking the enemy soldier
the
and
one
letting
that
them
lets
have.
you? So the right to bear arms
If,
is the one that
right to
allows
bear.
you to basically stand up to the oppressive government if they come at you, right?
A
So
well-regulated militia.
If they're
And
going to
militia
go,
is
and that's the problem.
them.
Yeah, that's the problem when they start going like, oh, we're going to take
We're
all your
not even
weapons.
a well-regulated society.
Well, that's
Why
the
would
other
you
issue.
get guns?
I think
Militia is
the problem is when you get all these people that talk about like, oh, we're going to take these guns, we're going to take this shit from you, we're going to take your guns. Like, okay, fine. There's people that'll be like, okay, fine, you can take them. I agree with that. There's going to be people who are going to like basically fight to the death over that, and like, I mean, you know, people like this, Eric. I know people like this that they almost like daily sit there and wish that the government would try and come take their guns just so they can go out in a blaze of glory. Like,
I don't want.
Oh,
I don't want anybody coming to take my guns.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
But I know people like that. That like they're that hyped about it. Like, oh yeah, you know, let them come take them. Like that's how I want to go out. Like they dream about that. I'm like, that seems a little weird to me. But like, I don't know. Like, you know, that's the kind of person I kind of. I'm maybe when the Red Dawn happens, like I'm glad they're on my side.
Well, I'll put it like this. Let me lay it like yeah, exactly. Or Tremors. I'll lay it like this. There is no First Amendment without the Second Amendment.
Well, I think that holds true for a lot of them.
If you don't have a right to defend yourself, the government will come and take what they want. They'll tell you, fuck you, you can't say that. Fuck you, you can't do this. Look at these social credit scores that are going on in China.
Yeah.
The people are treated there. They're not allowed to you know, even speak our minds. Half the shit that we have here, they get blocked.
Yeah.
On the internet. So, you know, we can talk about guns being bad and blah 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 blah.
I mean, we have it a lot better than some other places.
Yes, we have it a lot better.
Yeah, it's all relative. I'm just how do we get better?
We'll play the game and we'll talk about Sweden. People like to talk about socialism and all that shit. And well, it works in Sweden. Well, unfortunately, Sweden is really not a socialist country.
Well, socialism.
Look it up while you like.
I think certain aspects of socialism may work well.
Socialism is you have none at all. Socialism is you have 7 haircuts that you can decide of. It leads to your dictatorship.
Well, that's more. I think like your China, North Korea type shit.
North Korea.
I don't think Sweden's that bad.
No, but look at the taxes. Look how much taxes you have to pay in Sweden. It's up to like 60% of your fucking income.
But
so people like to talk about Sweden
I think,
and the fact that they have free healthcare. No, they don't have free fucking healthcare.
Okay,
because you're paying 60% of your fucking salary in
look
taxes.
At the fact, do they have real estate tax? Like, do you have to buy? You know, do they have sales tax? Do they have?
I think for the most part they have the same amount of taxes.
The one thing I do know about that is like, okay, their cost of living is a hell of a lot cheaper than. At least where I live, like
yeah, but
it
they're
may
also
not be.
Paying, if you make $100,000, you're only getting $40,000 of that.
Yeah, but
if you make 30, if you make 50,
that 40 grand
may
be enough.
15.
That 40 grand may be enough to survive. I mean, you know, compared to what's 40 grand get you shit here, that's nothing. That's like food
40 grand get you anywhere.
Wow,
40 grand's not going to get you shit anywhere.
Maybe in Sweden it does. I don't know. Any of our Swedish listeners?
Yeah, any Swedish listeners. Yeah, it's ludicrous. It's crazy.
Luda.
52% personal income tax, 25% sales tax rate, 38.42% Social Security rate. That's
crazy.
31.42. So you're making
for companies is so if we look at 50, 60, 70. I mean,
and I figure I'd use Sweden versus China or North Korea or Russia or Venezuela.
Even if they're considered socialist, it's not as intense as like your Korea or China.
In the 70s, between the 70s and the 90s, if I recall correctly, they did adopt some sort of socialism. but they have now sort of moved to more of a central.
Yeah.
They're not socialist anymore.
I could see some. I think we covered this before. Like, there's some aspects of
Probably.
things that may, but then I guess it wouldn't be socialism, because if you take some aspects that could work with proper oversight and like review and not let it get out of hand, but then it's really not socialist because you've got people governing it versus just one person deciding everything. I mean,
So that's kind of why the U.S. exists, because we told
Yeah.
a king to go fuck himself.
well,
So,
you still get
despite
people
those
telling you
tax
what to do.
rates, Sweden is the 6th happiest country in the world.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean,
Finland is number 1.
Finland, Jesus.
Yeah, where you don't want to live. 137 is Afghanistan.
Oh God, yeah. I'll bet you
Now let me
there.
try.
I'll bet you I could
What
buy a
was I gonna
lot.
say?
I'll bet you in Afghanistan I could live like a king for 40 grand a year, though.
Well,
Yeah.
I was trying to be a smartass. I hit the wrong button.
Oh, damn it.
The
What was I
Nordic
gonna say?
countries are dominating the happiness index for sure.
Yeah.
United States is 15th.
Well,
We're
I mean,
not too
that's
far
not
off.
so bad.
I don't know about you. Aside from some dumb decisions I make, I'm pretty freaking happy.
I mean,
You know
I
what
guess
I mean, there's a lot of stupid shit that's going on outside these four walls, but for the most
problem,
part, I'd say I'm
I
happy.
think the problem is just like other people who view shit about our country. Like, if you're not from here and you've never been here and you're just going by what you absorb on the TV news, social media, whatever, it's always the bad shit. Nobody talks about the good shit. Just like your product reviews. Nobody ever talks about how wonderful something is. It's always the bad guys that give it 1 star, 2 stars, whatever. Nobody ever
Speaking
hears
of no
about-
stars, did you hear that the Washington Commanders are back in the news again?
Oh no, would they change their name to?
No, actually, the Native American Guardians Association, NAGA is what it's called. So Native
I'm
American.
not gonna go there.
They're urging they're urging the new owners of the Washington Commanders to restore the football team's original name of the Washington Redskins.
Really?
I think that's a great idea.
I think it's a start. Like, I mean, who the hell really gets offended by that? I mean,
I think they should change their name to the Washington Sentinels and move along. Damn it.
This is the same shit, and we've beat this horse to death countless times.
We want Shane Falco.
I don't. Again, the people who get offended by this now weren't around when the Indians were getting slaughtered and killed and their land taken.
No, I wouldn't even say that. I'll say they weren't even offended in 2005, 2015.
Well, yeah, I mean, how long have the Redskins been around?
1985.
How long had
now all of a sudden you're
the
offended?
Fighting Illini been a thing? And all of a sudden,
Blackhawks.
yeah, well, oh, Christ,
The
right?
Atlanta Braves with their chop.
Cleveland Indians.
Cleveland Indians.
The Browns.
Granted, had the Cubs in 2016 when the Cubs and the Indians were in the World Series. If it wasn't the Cubs, I would have been rooting for the Indians, just because of Ricky Wild Thing Vaughn.
I think, like, I don't know. It's a horse that everybody beats to death, and I mean that's a good start, I think, to the healing process for like saying that, like, hey, we realize this was silly and we're okay if you we're gonna push to get the name back. I mean, maybe it's a start of things to kind of go back to some sort of normalcy. Bring back Aunt Jemima, bring back the Indian on the Land.
Bring back the Land O'Lakes and bring back Uncle Ben.
Yeah, I mean,
although he got killed, from what the guy robbing the car. So.
Yeah. Green Goblin killed Green Goblin killed his Aunt May. That's right.
Aunt May.
Sorry, spoiler alert.
Yeah, Marissa Tomei got whacked. Sorry.
Yeah, the hot Aunt May.
We're all kind of sad about that one still. That's probably why we're crabby tonight, because we're still sad about Aunt May. So
Are we calling it? Did we solve everything?
Well, we haven't.
Okay.
I was gonna volunteer as tribute to be that guy's replacement. Where was he at?
Oh, in Ecuador?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Ecuadorian
It was just a
president.
candidate. It wasn't the actual president. I
Oh,
don't know if you
Yeah, he
okay.
read
was
that.
just a
So you would just be
candidate.
running for
Well,
president.
no. See, I'm willing to bet the guy was killed because he might have had a chance to win, and they clearly don't want that. So they got
Yeah,
rid
he
of the
probably-
competition.
Yeah,
Maybe.
that's the rumor mill anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Internet rumors.
Yeah, we're
So-
over 2 hours already. So
Yeah, all right, gentlemen.
That'll
It's always a pleasure. Anybody that
definitely listen to us rant for the
still
last
listening.
2 hours. we
Yeah,
didn't lose
yeah.
you or knock you out earlier. Thanks for listening.
Yeah,
We need a
thank you for
guest
listening.
from Sweden.
Can we
Okay.
get somebody on from Sweden? We'll put them on the Discord and get their input. I want to know what they think of America.
Oh,
probably think
fly
we're a
to
bunch of
Mexico
assholes.
and they'll get a free road trip to Chicago.
That's right. Come on. I'm telling you, we've solved it.
Hold on. I think we'll see if we can get this guy. He's from Sweden.
Oh, the chef. Bork.
Techno Viking?
Techno
Yeah.
Viking. God,
So,
that guy'd be awesome.
that'd be kind of neat to have Thor Bjornsson.
No, I want the guy that does the slingshots. Or the guy from the hydraulic press channel. He's
There we go.
Swedish.
Swedish bikini team.
Oh, there you go. Now you're onto something.
All right. On that
Yeah.
note,
All right, gentlemen.
Yeah.
All right,
I'm gonna
everybody,
go.
have a good night.
Yep.
Thank
All
you for
right,
paying
bye.
attention.
Take care, guys.
Or not, later.
Bye.
Bye.